Yesterday said with legal weed now just an hour or so away, more marijuana could find its way into the city. Minnesota became the 23rd state in the nation to legalize pot on Monday when the governor signed that new law. Eau Claire police reminded everyone yesterday that marijuana possession is still illegal in Wisconsin. I'm John DeMaster.
Look at that number. Does it look like spam? Hit end call. Wisconsin hopes to do that by joining a lawsuit against a telemarketer accused of unleashing billions of robocalls. Attorney General Josh Call saying the state is looking at holding Avid Telecom and its owner accountable. Says Avid Center transmitted more than 7.5 billion robocalls to people on the do not call list. That was between December of 2018 and January of this year. Now, every state in the nation except for Alaska is part of that suit as well. And hey, guess what we get to talk about? Turns out rattlesnakes come out of hibernation each year. And while we're safe here.
According to the Natural History Museum in LA, you're 8 times more likely to die from a TV falling on you than bitten rattlesnake. Now, some things. They can strike you at a distance of 2/3 their total body length. But you can outrun them. They top out at 5 miles an hour. They can swim, and they can bite you even when they're dead. If you are bitten, there's anti-venom, but it costs $20,000 a vial. You'll need as many as 20. Animal control says to keep snakes away, spray ammonia, vinegar, or cinnamon. They don't like those smells. I'm Bree Tennis, NBC News Radio.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
They can swim, and they can bite you even when they're dead.
Okay, Casper, I'm with you on this one. Snakes, no. For Sports Talk 105.1, I'm Morgan McCarthy.
A cold front slides in this morning, and that'll set up a cooler Wednesday with highs only climbing to the mid to upper 60s for today and a mainly cloudy sky, though peaks of sunshine are possible. Most of the area staying dry, but some could see a spotty shower. Otherwise, tonight, partly cloudy, dipping to the upper 40s. Sunshine and warmer temperatures return tomorrow as we climb to the low 70s. I'm Skywarn 13 meteorologist Mike D'Andrea.
Summer is a busy time. Holidays, vacations, get-togethers, which also means you're going to need a lot of food. So you need a go-to place you can trust that has the widest selection of products with the best prices and the best fuel saver program in the Chippewa Valley. That's Hy-Vee in Eau Claire. From their meat department, deli, bakery, and more, Hy-Vee has you covered for all those get-togethers and vacations for this summer. Plus, save more money for your vacations with their Epic Fuel Savers program. Make it a memorable and epic summer with the help from Hy-Vee.
Want to stop engine problems before they start? Pick up a can of Seafoam Motor Treatment. Seafoam helps engines start easier, run smoother, and last longer. Just pour it in your fuel tank. Seafoam is available where automotive products are sold.
Welcome to the Dan Kasper Show.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's the show that features serious, thought-provoking sports talk and insightful sports commentary.
You knew it!
In other words, it's the show where they all talk a crap load about sports.
Let's go for it!
Now let's introduce your host, a man who lives and breathes and has a passion for sports. A man who breaks everything down in the sports world and gives you everything you need to know. Plus a bunch of stuff you probably don't need, but you'll still enjoy it.
You can't handle the truth.
Here is your host, Dan Kasper.
Prime time! Prime time!
What up, everybody? Good morning and happy Wednesday. Dan Kasper Show on the air, radio dials. You got a couple of those at 105.1 FM, 790 AM. Also available online at sportstalk1051.com. Google and Alexa home devices. You got the app and the video stream that is up and rolling, excuse me, on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Happy Wednesday, making the turn Wednesday. Appreciate you making us part of your start here this morning. What do we got on the good old game plan here? Brewers picking up the W last night, shutting out the Houston Astros 6-0. Now, back in sole possession of first place in the NL Central, 1 game over Pittsburgh, if you're still kind of keeping tabs on that. Colin Ray, perhaps best performance of his career, picking up his first win of the season, getting the start for the Crew, and he was pretty darn solid last night. A big boost for the Brewers with his performance last night. Going 5 1/3, 4 hits, no earned runs, 4 strikeouts, couple walks there, but holding it down, and the bullpen comes in and helps him out, and they hold it down there too. And Brewers with Owen Miller. I mean, we've been talking about Owen Miller, the Wisconsin native, for the last few days. He collected a couple of hits last night, including that home run in the 8th. 3 total hits. His batting average now up to a 347 so far this year. Dude is still on fire from the plate. Joey Weimer, the rookie, league getting things started off, in the 3rd with that solo shot. So big win for the Crew last night, and now they will try to get this series win just a few hours from now. 12:10 first pitch for the rubber match for Game 3 against Houston. Adrian Hauser going to be on the mound for the Crew, going up against his former team, if you remember back in the day. So we'll see if the Brew Crew can get that W before they begin a 4-game series against the Giants in Milwaukee starting tomorrow. So we'll recap the game from last night. It's going to talk a little bit more about Owen Miller. Update on kind of the health and starting pitching situation for the Crew. Brewers making signing a pitcher to kind of get some more depth. So we'll recap all that fun stuff there for the Crew. But nonetheless, I don't want to put a whole lot of stock in a May game, but good win last night, considering Colin Ray pitched extremely well. Brewers are going to need him, like a lot of other players on this roster right now, to take on a bigger role, make a bigger jump this year to help fill that role with the injuries going on with the ball club, especially with the starting pitching staff. So good night for him. Hopefully that's something he can build upon and continue to pitch at a solid level for the Brewers here so far. So we got that. Also on the docket, we'll talk a little football. Yesterday, we've got updates from OTAs, Packers updates from OTAs, day 2. If you have Twitter, and you are a Packers fan, you probably follow some of the beat reporters who were there at practice and kind of following along on some updates and such. So freaking out on a May 23rd of practice, right? But, roll call, there were a few players who, they have bigger incentives to be there too. But I don't think there's anything, drama related to it, because they were there at different points in the offseason with mini camps and such. But Jair Alexander wasn't there. Rasul Douglas wasn't there. Dave Bakhtiari wasn't there. Elton Jenkins, Preston Smith. So, but I don't think it's anything to, any drama or issues or anything like that. But this was the first glimpse to see, this team with the rookies incorporated with some of the veterans, Jordan Love, QB number 1 and such. But sounds like Lucas Van Ness, the first-round pick for the Packers yesterday, was impressive to the writers, to the beat reporters who were in attendance at practice yesterday. So hopefully we're all not making too big of a deal after an OTA practice and such. But, good to see the new guys incorporated, with some of the veterans out there. So, and, I'm kind of curious, Packers fans, how much will you be following Aaron Rodgers? I mean, it's going to be hard to completely ignore it because he's in New York, one of the best of all time on a new team. The national media is going to be all over it. They're going to be following it. We know the Jets with all of their primetime games. But I'm genuinely curious to see or to hear from a lot of you, like how much. And I don't know how many people might be like too dedicated, like very dedicated to following Rodgers and such. But I'm because yesterday Rodgers, OTA practice, and he talked, but he got hurt. He strained a calf early in practice, and that sort of thing. But that was like a story right away, right? I mean, it was out there, and he did his presser afterwards, and kind of said it was minor. But how many? I'm just kind of curious. Like, will you be paying attention? And I know for Green Bay's sense, it's like you're kind of following for the 65% of the snaps, maybe to see, okay, get that first round pick, and then maybe you're looking for how well the Jets are doing to see potentially how high that first round pick is. But in terms of like just this coverage wise, how much will you be paying attention to Rodgers? And I feel like a lot will probably initially say, no, he's not on the team. Nope, not Green Bay. But once we get into the season and such, I mean, are you going to be like one of those, like, just kind of like, glancing over a little bit, peeking over your shoulder and be like, oh, okay. Okay. It's I'll be honest with you, yesterday it was hard to ignore because it's all over the dang place. It's just, it is what it is, but it's going to be hard. I don't think you can completely shut it out. I don't think you can completely like tune it out. And it's going to be something that's going to be constantly out there. I mean, yeah, we kind of went through it before with, Favre in New York in 08 and Minnesota across the border, but that was over 10 years ago. And I would argue now that social media is more of a thing than what it was 10, 11, 12 years ago. And it's more in your face sort of thing. So, kind of curious to see where you're all at with that thing. Speaking of the NFL yesterday, the owners, with the owners meeting, passing a rule with the kickoff, and special teams coaches not happy with this. They were very adamant about not supporting this, but ironic whenever it comes to these owners meetings this time of year too, where they pass these rules, but the coaches aren't in town because a lot of them are going through OTAs right now. So, but yesterday the rule to place the ball at the 25-yard line following fair catches on kickoffs. And again, like we said, a lot of special teams coaches not in favor of that. Players not really in favor of that. The reason to do this is to try to, again, lower injuries, lower concussions on kickoffs. But it's going to be a one-year trial basis. This season, a fair catch on a kickoff will be placed at the 25-yard line, regardless of where it is fielded. The proposal is designed to counteract a recent increase in pop-up kickoffs. We've seen that. We've seen Mason Crosby in Green Bay try to do that. They pop it up and put it in a corner there, try to pin teams deep in their own territory. But according to some of the data out there, concussion rates on kickoffs have surged over the past 2 seasons to nearly twice as high as the average offensive or defensive play. According to Rich McKay, chairman of the NFL's competition committee, most of that surge can be traced to an increase in returns caused by pop-up kicks. So, I mean, okay. Do we just eliminate finally the kickoff? I mean, are we going to get to that point in the next few years that we are just going to eliminate the kickoff and everybody just starts at the 25? Just do it there. I was reading a little bit more that says the league has been closely monitoring the XFL kickoff format, which aligns most of the kicking and return teams downfield and with only 5 yards in between. None of them can move until the returner has fielded the ball. And over the XFL's 2020 and 2023 seasons, virtually all of the kickoffs have been returned in what amounts to a far less violent environment. So, could we see something like that? Or do we just eliminate it and just say, all right, you're starting at the 25. No kickoffs. I don't feel like this is going to be something that's going to continue to change for the next coming years and such. Again, it's going to be a trial year, see how it goes. But with the NFL fully on board, it sounded like even like before the vote yesterday, Roger Goodell was kind of campaigning for it amongst owners to try to get this thing to pass. But I don't know. I mean, the kickoff, it's kind of losing its excitement here a little bit and such. But maybe we'll see also more teams be aggressive in returning the ball out of the end zone if they feel like they got a returner or a coverage game that can, get the ball across the 25 and in better field position or even returning it. Maybe, I'll be kind of curious to see how Green Bay with Rich Bisaccia and Keyshawn Nixon, how they kind of go about this. I know he had a little fun on social media. Keyshawn Nixon did and said, kind of joking about the whole fair catch because, as we saw last year, he ain't afraid of returning the ball deep out of his own end zone and such. So, but something to kind of watch. Something to kind of watch here. Elsewhere, last night, the Celtics prolonging maybe the inevitable. They did get the win against the Miami Heat, so that series gets extended. The Heat not able to sweep that series and advance to the NBA Finals, where the Denver Nuggets are waiting for the winner of this series to set up that matchup. Stanley Cup playoffs. Vegas taking commanding 3-0 lead over the Dallas Stars in their series. So they had a couple of those games tonight coming up, or last night coming up tonight for the Stanley Cup playoffs. Florida will attempt to complete the sweep against Carolina. So we'll throw a little bit of that chat in here too. So. We might do a little sports vigilante. Maybe we'll make the kickoff thing. I think that's what we'll do. We'll do the kickoff thing topic, our sports vigilante coming up next hour. We got a little showdown in the 8 o'clock hour. Stock reports are due. Whose stock is rising and whose stock is falling. Hit us up on that Shoe Doctors bullpen line with a text 715-830-1912. You can also find me on Twitter at DanKasper, Facebook.com/Kasper Sports there too. So, but let's get things rolling here this morning. Coming up on the leadoff, we'll hit up some Brewers chat, recapping the victory last night against the Houston Astros. Who is this Owen Miller? We know he's a Wisconsin native, but where did he come from? We'll do a little recap on him and look ahead to Game 3 coming up this afternoon. First pitch at 12:10. Adrian Hauser going to be on the mound for the Brew Crew. Plus, some updates from Packers OTAs yesterday. Our first glimpse of this current team kind of all on the field together. Yes, there wasn't everybody there. No Dave Bakhtiari, no Elton Jenkins. But kind of our first glimpse of maybe what the offensive line is going to look like too. How did they line up yesterday? Well, in case you missed it, we'll tell you. So we'll take that first break, and then coming up, lead off, we'll throw in a little Brewers and a little green and gold chat to get you going here this morning. We'll be back in just a couple minutes.
Got a take on today's topics but can't call in? Then hit us up on Facebook, Twitter, or the text line and let your fingers do the talking.
Who doesn't love cooking up a good burger on the grill? Having a good burger is one of the most satisfying moments in your life. And now we have the perfect burger to put on the grill and create more satisfying moments in your life. It's the Dan Good Burger, available only at Hy-Vee in Eau Claire. This burger has bacon, cheese, and ranch seasoning all inside the patty to give you that perfect balance of taste and awesomeness in each bite. So head on over to Hy-Vee in Eau Claire and grab yourself a few Dan Good Burgers and fire up that grill.
So, I have a question for all you guys out there. Why is it that I see you hauling all kinds of stuff in your trucks? Lumber, ATVs, furniture, and everything is strapped down tight, except you. I mean, come on, fellas. You're just as important as your buddy's blue plaid sofa. Buckle up.
Pickups rock. They also roll. Buckle up in your truck and arrive alive. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Department of Transportation.
If you're a motorist of the four-wheel variety, please watch out for those of us in Wisconsin who do their traveling on two wheels. Adjust your mirrors to reduce your blind spots. Allow motorcyclists a full lane width. Use your turn signal when merging or changing lanes. And allow more following distance between you and the motorcycle. Motorists and motorcyclists can work together to achieve zero preventable deaths on Wisconsin roads. Zero in Wisconsin. Together we can save lives. Learn more at zeroinwisconsin.gov.
Sponsored by the Wisconsin DOT.
Dr. Rick here, with another telltale sign you're turning into your parents. Getting particular about your drive-thru order.
Don't pull away yet. I like to check the bag because one time they forgot to give me extra ketchup.
People are waiting.
I'm only seeing 4 nuggets. Wait, nope, there's 5.
Progressive can't help you from becoming your parents, but we can help you compare rates on home insurance with Home Quote Explorer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Now that we've gotten some decent weather, we're now more active outside, mowing the lawn, golfing, working on completing some projects. But with all that, that also means you're probably getting a little sore in the back, neck, and shoulders. It sounds like you need a quick adjustment, which means it's time to go visit Dr. Logan at Shepke Chiropractic. With us all being more active this time of year, chances are that we're going to need a few adjustments to our neck and back. That's why at Shepke Chiropractic, their goal is to work with each patient to achieve their goals and perform to their fullest potential in the capacity that their life requires. So don't let your neck or back pain slow you down on your busy summer. Let Shepke Chiropractic help you get adjusted so you're able to get those rounds of golf in or complete those outdoor projects this year. And Shepke Chiropractic has 2 locations to better serve you. All you have to do is visit ShepkeChiropractic.com to learn more and to schedule your appointment. Your journey to a healthier and more fulfilling life starts at Shepke Chiropractic.
Keep your spring showers hot with a new water heater from Hurlburt Heating and Plumbing. Extended through May, when you purchase a new furnace and air conditioner from Hurlburt, you'll get a free water heater. Consultations are always free, and interest-free financing is available too. Give us a call or visit us online at hurlburthp.com for more information. That's hurlburthp.com.
Are you up all night tossing and turning over your business's unsuccessful online marketing strategies? Midwest Family Eau Claire's digital team can be the warm glass of milk and cozy blanket that ensure a restful, worryless night's sleep. Let our team at Midwest Family Eau Claire turn your business's digital presence into profit. Go to MidwestFamilyEauClaire.com today and find out how our integrated marketing solutions take the complexity of digital marketing out of your busy hands. MidwestFamilyEauClaire.com.
Stand by as we continue our dig for the truth and the toy at the bottom of the cereal box.
Oh, got it.
The Dan Kasper Show.
So remember about a week or so ago, maybe a couple weeks, we threw it out to you to help us come up with a name for Joe from Cabin Coffee's own beverage that he has over there. We had to come up with a name, and we had a lot of nominations. We narrowed it down to a few finalists out there. So we need your help, though, to vote for the final three. Now, Joe's a former Badger offensive lineman, so there was a common theme in a lot of these names out there. But the three that his staff over at Cabin Coffee in Altoona narrowed down for us all have a Badger football theme to it. But the three, and you can text me. I posted it up on Facebook the other day, but if you want to text me your votes, I'd appreciate it. And maybe we'll throw in a gift card or a free beverage or something like that. But the three, Iced, Badger, Breve, Trench Mud. All right, he was an offensive lineman, so that makes sense. Trench Mud, right? Or the Jump Around. So if you can hit me up with a text, because I think we're going to announce the winner either tomorrow. Maybe it's next week. But Joe will be in tomorrow, so text me how you would vote. What would you vote? I would appreciate some of the input. So yeah, you can text me, email it to me, or find that post from the other day on my Facebook page over there and just comment on there if that makes things easier for you. All right, let's get going here this morning already. Getting down to the bottom of the hour here. Leading things off, a little Brewers here to open up things. Brew Crew getting a nice win last night, 6-0 against the Houston Astros. Colin Ray gets our tip of the cap here for this morning, picking up his first win of the season, and he was legit last night. I mean, he had himself a game, going 5 1/3, 4 hits, no earned runs, 4 strikeouts, bullpen coming in, closing things down there too. We had a total of 4 bullpen pitchers coming in, 5 strikeouts amongst all those, and only 1 hit given up between the bullpen here too. So it was a good pitching performance overall from the Brew Crew last night, and we got to give a shout out to Colin Ray. Colin Ray, we knew about his story when he first got brought on the scene for the Brewers earlier this season. I don't think the Brewers imagined him being, pitching in 8 games so far this year and starting 7 of those by May 23rd last night, 24th today. I don't think the Brewers or anybody expected, maybe even Colin Ray probably didn't expect, that he would have started 7 games so far this year. But with all the injuries to this pitching staff, to this Brewers starting pitching staff, he is asked to kind of come in and kind of fill that hole. And last night, he did a great job. Last time we saw him was back on the 14th against Kansas City before he was sent back down. And he struggled a little bit there. 3 2/3, gave up 6 hits, 4 earned runs. But he bounced back nicely. And we're going to see him a few more times because of the injuries to the starting pitching staff. And you hope he can continue to build off of a performance like last night. Yeah, you hope that's going to be the case. It's kind of an unknown at this point, but got to give him credit. He was able to get it done. Able to get it done last night. Another person who got it done, another tip of the cap, and he's been a guy who has been hot from the plate as of late, and that's Wisconsin native Owen Miller. Talked a little bit about him last Friday, talked a little bit about him on Monday and such, but getting it done, he's been a constant presence within that lineup during this hot streak. Brewers keeping him in that lineup and rewarding them again last night, collecting 3 hits, including a home run in the 8th inning. Owen Miller has just been, I mean, I don't know what we could say to describe it, just other than hot. I mean, the guy's been kind of lights out here too. Last 30 at-bats, guys hitting 400 with a couple of dingers, slugging 700, an on-base percentage of .419. You want to expand it to his last 97 at-bats? No, let's just look at the whole career or whole number so far this year, over 100 at-bats. He is hitting .347 with an on-base of a .368 and an OPS of an .893. Is this something that Owen Miller is going to continue to do throughout the entire season. We'll love it, but odds are probably not going to happen. But you got to keep this man in the lineup right now. Got to continue to find ways. And the nice thing with Owen Miller is that he has shown his versatility to play multiple spots within his lineup, not just the infield. But, we talked about it the other day. We talked about spring training. He was a guy was kind of showcasing, hey, he can play outfield too. He's not just an infielder. Guy can go out there and play outfield. I mean, he's had a couple of games playing first. He's had 19 games playing second. He's had 11 games playing third, 5 playing left, a couple in right field. He's all over the place. And right now, with his bat, it gives you that versatility to put him in different spots in the lineup defensively just to keep that bat in the lineup. Coming off that game Monday where he went hitless, had a couple of strikeouts. Thought we kind of gave him the curse. It's like, we're talking about him, and now we give him a little bit of a curse. But bounced back with 3 hits, a couple RBIs last night. So shout out to the Mequon, Wisconsin native. Who is Owen Miller? Who is this guy? Well, Ozaki High School. Went to Illinois State University. He was actually drafted by the San Diego Padres in the 2018 MLB draft in the 3rd round. Then in 2020, was traded to the Cleveland Indians. Made his major league debut on May 23rd. May 23rd, or was up major league debut where he was a DH going up against the Minnesota Twins. So May 23rd, 2021, made his major league debut. In 2022 for the Cleveland Indians, he hit a slash of a 243, 301, 351, and had the fastest sprint speed of all major league first basemen. He spent a lot of time playing first base for Cleveland. And then December of 2022 was traded to the Milwaukee Brewers. And you want to talk about position versatility when you add in the fact that he's been getting some outfield time, really worked on that in spring training. I mean, kind of look back at the positions he was playing for Cleveland. It was mostly first base. And he's only played a couple times at first base so far for the Crew. Going back to, he played 29 games at second base that's 2021. Let's go to 2022. So 2022, he played 80 games at first base, started 71 of those for Cleveland, played 25 games at second base, started 23 of those, DH'd 22 times, started 14 of those. Third base, he played 4 games and didn't start any of those. But now it's kind of been all over the place here for the Crew. He's started 14 games at second base, played 19 at second, started 9 games at third, played in 11. And really, spending the majority of his career at first base with Cleveland, he's only played 2 games at first base, hasn't started any of those. Now, Rowdy Tellez has a lot to say about that, but that just, again, kind of shows you the versatility that Owen Miller has really provided for this Brewers team. Guy's a stud right now. I can tell you right now, he's an easy pick for stock risers. Is he my pick when we get to it in the 8 o'clock hour? We'll see, but you want to put him on that list? You're not going to get a big argument from me. Guy has been awesome. And the fact that he's a Wisconsin native too, a little bit more of a cherry on the top. Let's look at the pitching matchup for today. This afternoon's game. Adrian Hauser going to be on the mound for the Brew Crew. How's he going to fare up against this line? We got a little bit of experience with Hauser going up against the Astros. About a about a game's worth or so. But again, not a whole lot. Not a whole lot, which isn't a big surprise, right? But when we look at Adrian Hauser, you want to talk about another guy who more is on his shoulders until the Brewers get a little bit more healthier and get some of their pitchers back, some of their starting pitchers back. But he's coming off of a fantastic performance on the 19th against the Tampa Bay Rays. Got the no decision, but that was that game where he went 6 strong innings, just 4 hits, no earned runs, 4 strikeouts, only issuing a walk. He's started 3 games so far this year, and he's gotten a no decision in each of those games. Back on the 7th against the Giants, he pitched 4 2/3, 7 hits, 2 earned runs. 13th against Kansas City, 4 innings, 8 hits, 3 earned runs. And then that Tampa Bay game we just mentioned. So he's looking for not only his first win, but can Adrian Hauser build off of what we saw in that game against Tampa Bay? Are we going to see that? Hopefully, because there is a lot more pressure on Adrian Hauser's shoulders to, kind of be a big part of the starting rotation until guys like Brandon Woodruff and Wade Miley come back. And, Eric Lauer has been down this year, and now he's on the injured list. So Hauser's a guy that this is an opportunity for him. At the beginning of the year, he was they were getting ready for him, kind of, training him to be a bullpen option for this team, coming out of the bullpen and being a long relief type of player. Thrusted back into a starting spot because of injuries. This is an opportunity for Adrian Hauser to go out there and showcase that, hey, I'm a starting pitcher in this league. Go do it. Go do it, man. And do it against you for the team that drafted you back in 2011 in the second round. Use it. Use it as a little motivation if you want. But I hope Adrian Hauser takes advantage of this situation. He's going to get a few more starts here. Go out there and showcase that you are a starting pitcher. If you want to be that starting pitcher, you want to be a part of this rotation, not only for this year, but for the next couple of years, for the next few years, go out there and prove it. Athletes, people in regular jobs, everyday world, they just want a shot. They want an opportunity, right? They want an opportunity to showcase what they got, what they can do. Hauser's had a couple of those games. Let's see him continue to build and get to that point where it's like you can't take Adrian Hauser out of the starting rotation. We've seen the good moments of Adrian Hauser throughout his career. We've seen the poor moments. It's been very inconsistent. It's been very up and down. I mean, career-wise, he's 23 wins, 29 losses, a 3.94 ERA. He's pitched in 109 games. 79 of those have been starting. I think the main thing that we just want to see from Adrian Hauser has been consistency. Not every starting pitcher is going to be consistent with every single start out there. The best ones have a little bit of a slip up here and there. I don't think anybody's expecting Adrian Hauser to, go out there and be a Corbin Burns at a Corbin Burns high level or Clayton Kershaw, Max Scherzer, whatever. But just we want to see the consistency and pitching at a good consistency. So go out there and take it, man. Go out there, take that ball today. Put your team in a position to win. And then offensively, like you did last night, give the man some run support. Okay? Go out there and continue to give him run support. Let's go ahead and win this series, win this rubber match, take this series against the Astros. Feel good about it because it's been a down month of May. Let's be real. April was awesome. May hasn't gone the way that we had all hoped. Been a little bit down. Let's go out there and just win this series against Houston and gain some confidence, okay? As we approach already the end of May, heading into Memorial Day weekend here. Let's go out there and get that W. Get some confidence flowing here a little bit. Huh? All right. Okay, let's take a quick break, and then we'll finish up the first hour. OTAs, day 2 yesterday, but the first time we got to see summer practice. What stood out, we'll discuss.
180! The Dan Kasper Show will be right back.
Hi, my name is David, and I'm one of the owners of a successful family-owned business called Northland Buildings. Growing up on a dairy farm in northern Wisconsin, I learned from my dad the values of putting in a good, honest day's work and not quitting until all the chores were done right. That meant recognizing quality in everything we did on that farm. And that ethic is now the core values at Northland Buildings. I guarantee as the CEO, you won't find a higher quality post-frame building than ours. We do everything we can to use building materials based and manufactured right here in the Midwest. If you built one of our buildings in the past 30 years, you know the quality I'm talking about. And we want to say thank you for trusting your animals and equipment to the protection and housing you get in a Northland building. All the information you need is at northlandbuildings.com. Built tough for the Northland.
Northland Building.
Cabin Coffee in Altoona isn't just your go-to place when it comes to coffee. It's your go-to place for smoothies, breakfast, and lunch. Cabin Coffee's menu includes a wide range of smoothies, freshly made sandwiches, and tasty breakfast options. And with their portion sizes, you won't go hungry after finishing your meal at Cabin Coffee. So even though you may not be a big coffee drinker, Cabin Coffee has something for you. And you can even have some of their beverages without caffeine. So go give Cabin Coffee a visit today at River Prairie in Altoona.
Next up, Straight Talk from Doug. Ever notice that saying no offense is offensive? Like, no offense, but you're overpaying for your wireless. See? Offensive.
That's the Straight Talk talking. Get unlimited plans as low as $35 a month from Straight Talk on America's most reliable 5G network. Available at Walmart and Walmart.com. On the $35 plan, first 10 gigabytes data at high speed, then 2G speeds. Refer to the latest terms at straighttalk.com. Based on most first-place rankings, root metrics, second half 2022 assessments of 125 metros. Experiences vary, not an endorsement.
The Dell Technologies Summer Sale event starts now with limited quantity deals on select performance PCs with Windows 11 Pro. Save on select Vostro laptops with built-in security features and select Latitude laptops with enhanced privacy, collaboration, and connectivity. Save on essential accessories, plus free shipping and special financing with Dell Business Credit. Dell Technologies recommends Windows 11 Pro for business. Call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL. Offered to business customers by WebBank, who determines qualifications for and terms of credit.
Who doesn't love cooking up a good burger on the grill? Having a good burger is one of the most satisfying moments in your life. And now we have the perfect burger to put on the grill and create more satisfying moments in your life. It's the Dan Good Burger, available only at Hy-Vee in Eau Claire. This burger has bacon, cheese, and ranch seasoning all inside the patty to give you that perfect balance of taste and awesomeness in each bite. So head on over to Hy-Vee in Eau Claire and grab yourself a few Dan Good Burgers and fire up that grill.
Do you have an invention idea but don't know what to do next? Call InventHelp today. We have representatives nationwide who will explain the InventHelp process step by step. Over 10,000 patents have been secured through InventHelp's patent referral services. The InventHelp Data Bank includes thousands of companies who have agreed to review new ideas. We've been helping inventors since 1984. Let's help you next. Get started today.
Call 1-800-217-4380. That's 1-800-217-4380. Again, 1-800-217-4380.
What's the special today?
Well, I've got half-price geofencing with a side of SEO, double bubble on all PPC, and 50% off all OTT CTV contracts.
Sound familiar when you were looking for marketing options? Are vendors selling you their tactics rather than your solutions? Then let the marketing mixologists at Midwest Family Eau Claire come to the rescue. Midwest Family Eau Claire isn't about hitting their sales quotas. They're about helping you hit yours. Go to MidwestFamilyEauClaire.com today and find out how their integrated marketing solutions make just the right marketing cocktail for you. MidwestFamilyEauClaire.com.
Auto King, Birch Street, Eau Claire. AutoKingEC.com.
Sports. You love it. We love it. And quite frankly, I don't trust anyone who doesn't love it. Do you?
Is that a serious question?
The Dan Kasper Show.
Have you gotten your two-person team signed up for the 3rd annual Kasper Classic yet? Well, I just checked some of the numbers. If you want to get in on the early bird sign up to make sure you've secured a spot on that team, you might want to go ahead and do so because there's only a couple left for the morning session, 10 a.m. tee time. Got a few left for the 1 p.m. tee time there too. We'll open up some more later on, but last couple of years it's sold out. So if you're a listener and you want to make sure that you're participating in probably your new favorite or your favorite's golf outing, August 4th at Princeton Valley, just head to our website, sportstalk1051.com, and secure that spot. All right, want to secure that spot. Big thanks to our partners, Kasper Classic presented by Hy-Vee. They're going to be doing the lunch over there again, grilling out. Looking forward to that. Big thanks to Carpet City Flooring Center again for the support. Also, Economy Furniture, Dodge also on board there too. So if anybody's interested maybe in becoming a sponsor, a whole sponsor, or donation for a raffle or such, hit me up. All right. All helping backyard dreams, baby. All helping backyard dreams. So more details, you can, again, visit our website, sportstalk1051.com, or just shoot me a message or hit me up with an email, and I can help you answer any questions or anything like that. OTAs. Don't want to dig too much into a practice in May, but this was the first glimpse of this current Packers team with the new guys coming in, mixed in with some of the regulars, some of the veterans out there. So based off of what some of the reporters who were at practice, the beat reporters, what they were kind of seeing and some of the stuff that they were able to post and some of the videos that they were able to post, sounds like Lucas Van Ness, the first-round rookie, impressed them. Looked pretty good. Again, it's just a second practice in May. Don't put a whole lot into it. But it also gave some of the reporters a chance to catch up with some of the players, including Eric Stokes. And we finally found out what exactly his injury was. And he tore his meniscus in his knee and had the infamous Liz Frank injury. Now, if we talk to Dr. Crow again on Friday, he could break it down better for us. But that Liz Frank injury is that's one of those foot injuries that you don't like to hear. We've heard of players' careers kind of ending because of that. Now, hopefully that won't be the case for Eric Stokes. But the concerning thing for Eric Stokes, he just started running a couple weeks ago. So hopefully, again, it's just May, training camp, preseason, not for a couple months away, but hopefully he'll be ready to go here soon and still be a high impact player for this team. But now we kind of know. But some of the reporters that were there, because they're not allowed to record, on their cell phone videos, players, rehabbing and such. But they said, Rashawn Gary and Eric Stokes were working pretty hard at rehabbing on the side yesterday too. So, it's another player, Rashawn Gary, that's, I know everybody's going to be kind of watching to see when he could potentially return to the field. I don't really want to necessarily break down how Jordan Love, did yesterday, because again, it's a May practice and it's the second one. But I'll kind of maybe echo what Matt LaFleur said yesterday, was that a lot of good things and a lot to clean up. So there you go. That's the head coach assessing Jordan Love. A lot of good things, a lot of things to clean up. Also said that they've got to see what everybody else around him can do as well. So again, I hope not a lot of people reading some of those things. Like, I know he overthrew Samori Toure, a wide open Samori Toure, and then he would hit, on a dart to Christian Watson. I hope, again, nobody is getting too amped up one way or the other on a May OTA practice. But that was the first glimpse. Again, I think the biggest thing to take away from this is just getting a first glimpse of the new guys incorporated with the veterans and seeing everybody out on the field all together. And maybe kind of seeing how the initial depth charts look at this thing. Like the big one was, for me at least, the offensive line. Now, no David Bakhtiari, no Elton Jenkins. They weren't at OTAs yesterday. So that left side, we know their spots are guaranteed. We know who's going to be over there. It's the right side from center on that we've got some jobs up there. And yesterday, it was Myers at center, Runyon Jr. at right guard, Zach Tom at right tackle. Josh Nyman reps at left tackle. Royce Newman was over at left guard. Now, the one to focus on, I think, here is maybe more so the right tackle. Because to me, it almost kind of seems like that Zach Tom might be the leader to be the starting right tackle this year for Green Bay. I know a lot of people kind of maybe thought it would be Yash, and it still could be. But I think, early glimpses, maybe this is an indication that, Yash is going to be that backup left tackle, potentially a swing tackle. Could very well be their future starting left tackle. But right now, maybe they kind of view Zach Tom as that starting right tackle. A lot of practice, a lot of ball to be decided before we get to September. But that was kind of one of the things I was initially curious to see how Green Bay was putting out their starting offensive line, getting the first crack at it. Other ones out there, Rudy Ford got the first rep alongside Darnell Savage for safety, and I just spilled my coffee all over the place. That was awesome. That was awesome. Oh, Nelly, what a mess here. So there you have it. If things start on fire here, that's because I just spilled everything around here. Nothing like a great play-by-play on that. Holy cow. So, all right, there you got it. We'll see if we're on the air here in a little bit, unless something just completely goes on fire here. Man alive, get it together, Dan. Wow. But no, Rudy Ford was the other starting safety alongside Darnell Savage in the safety groups yesterday. So, there you have it. That's kind of your OTA update. So, but the one question I kind of had, and we'll hit this up in Sports Vigilante coming up next hour, the kickoff rule. The NFL altering it just a skosh again yesterday. Fair catches, now will be at the 25 on kickoffs, on free kicks. Like, so a safety and a punt, fair catch, it's going to get 25 and that sort of thing. Reason why the NFL saw an increase on those, pop-up kicks to the corner, just in front of the end zone, trying to pin teams deep within their own territory. They said concussion numbers have risen because of that. Do you think the NFL should just get rid of the kickoff and have everybody start at the 25? Or should they do a little bit like what the XFL has been doing? Nobody's allowed to start running and such until the receiver or the returner catches the ball. How would you handle this this kickoff issue if you were in charge of the competition committee or you were the commissioner of the NFL? And anybody, anybody who's played special teams, I'd be curious to get your response too, because, if they ever got rid of the kickoff, I mean, you're essentially you're changing the total dynamic of a team, and you're changing, roster positions. And I mean, we've seen Green Bay the last couple of years really put a priority on upgrading their special teams units, not just, kicker and punter and returner and that, but it's been the coverage units. And if we ever get to a point where the NFL decides to eliminate the kickoffs, does that change in how you construct teams? I think it has to. Now, you probably still have the punts and you got punt coverage teams and all that sort of stuff, but maybe it changes up the return game just a skosh. So hit me up with those texts on that Shoe Doctors bullpen line, 715-830-1037. 1912. Morning, Morgan.
Do you feel like rules are meant to be changed, or do you like something that would stick more solidly? Or is it like the Constitution? It's a living, breathing document. You can go through a process and amend the rules along the way.
I think you have to be open to amending stuff.
Yeah.
and
What do you think of the
adjusting.
pitch clock thing with baseball now?
I
But
like
that's
it.
yeah.
I like it. I like it a lot. Yeah.
Because it moves it along, or just
Moves it
because
along.
Yeah,
Yep.
I think so too. As much as you like being out and watching a ball game, you have to be realistic. Not everybody has 7 hours of the day to spend
Exactly.
watching that
I
stretch.
like it. So especially once after the first few innings when it kind of slows down a little
Yeah.
bit.
And
I'm
well,
good.
especially if the writing's on the wall early, like that 18-1 game with the Brewers, and you're like, you know what? Can we just keep moving it along? Little fast forward action.
Exactly.
So what about the football now? How you feeling about the kickoff? Have you picked a side yet?
I mean, the thing to me is really interesting. Like if the numbers are there where it has increased concussions,
Yeah.
the NFL has to do something about
Right.
concussions, but then, players have to at least accept the fact that, okay, they're doing this to help us out, but at the same time, it might lose jobs for players too. So it's that balance, because if you're just going to do, fair catches all the time, it kind of loses jobs for certain players who are playing special teams.
Now, where is your finger on the pulse of the players? Where do you think most of the players would fall on it?
Special teams coordinators hate it.
Of course, because it directly affects them.
So, a lot of the returners are probably just like, I know the Packers returner Keyshawn Nixon said, pretty much had some fun with it on social media, saying he's not going to do it. He's just going to return whatever.
Yeah.
So,
and that's what you're trained to play and do. And
Mm-hmm.
for a lot of guys, that's their passion. So it's like you're taking away.
Right.
Or it feels to them like they're taking away that one thing they get.
Right.
I have to say, your son has some great skills. These T-shirts are really great.
Yeah.
I love those T-shirts. That was great. Way cool of the Express to do that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Liking
Yes.
that. So if you haven't seen these yet, you're going to have to hit up socials and get a picture of that. Now, are you going to also make one of these edition shirts? Are you going to have like a dad versus son next year?
I don't have the artistic skills.
I need to
of
see some
that.
glitter though next time. I need to see some glitter and
boy.
macaroni action on
We
there.
don't allow glitter with him.
All right, Wednesday wild card time. We are going to take Casper away from his cleanup here. Did you spill something, buddy?
I spilled all of my coffee.
All of it?
Yep.
Oh man, what
So
a
I'm
day.
gonna
Do you need a
be
refill?
Struggling here later on. So
Trust me, we'll have to get you some more in the cup. But now you get to, uncaffeinated dig into the pile for the Wednesday wild card and answer this.
at least somebody said great job not swearing when you spilled it. So
Oh, yeah. Without the influence of coffee and caffeine right now, I'm going to say and ask you, ironically, this is the card you pulled out. What was the best part of your day so far?
Oh man.
I bet we know what it wasn't. And I agree. Kudos if you didn't let the swear fly, because if I spilt a whole cup of coffee all over the radio
I
board.
didn't get it on me either.
No, I'm
which
pretty
is very
impressed. I was going to say,
impressed.
because you look clean. I thought maybe
Yeah.
you were just doing a little dust up and
Just
clean
on the
up.
keyboard.
But I realized you were working on some soaking up here.
Best
And
part of my day?
is the only thing you have to clean up with a roll of toilet paper.
Yes. That you should see the pile over here that I got.
And it's our cheap work toilet
I was
paper,
gonna
so
say,
you're
it
going to be
doesn't
wiping it
soak
up for
up.
weeks and a half, buddy.
It doesn't soak up anything.
Okay,
I mean,
so
best part.
best part of your day so far, besides shifting the coffee around because it's not being absorbed by
Probably the fact that I just woke up, because there's not a whole lot to go off of right now.
it. Whee!
Yeah.
Welcome to the day.
Yeah.
Wednesday is underway.
Exactly.
Let me know if
So-
you need a refill on that coffee, buddy.
I gotta figure
Even
it
I
out.
feel for you today. That's a rough one to the chin on a Wednesday.
All right, thanks, Morgs.
Poor guy.
All right, 1 hour in. We got a couple more. We got some sports nuggets of the day coming up after these news updates.
WAYY Eau Claire, W286CK Eau Claire, Sports Talk 105.1 and 790 AM. From the 715 Newsroom, it's Morgan McCarthy with your news on Sports Talk 105.1.
Good morning. We begin with an update. Monroe County deputy out of a job after his canine partner died from heat earlier this month. The sheriff's office yesterday said Detective Alex Moss resigned from the department. He'd been on administrative leave since his canine partner Colt died from heat last week. The dog was rushed to the vet May 10th after being locked in a hot car and never recovered. Vernon County Sheriff's Office, Juneau County District Attorney's Office, both helping with the investigation into the dog's death. In that investigation, investigation is ongoing. Looking locally, police in Chippewa Falls furious with a mess at the Chippewa Falls Senior Center left by illegal dumpers. Police Chief Matthew Kelm was on socials yesterday. Maybe you saw this on Facebook, warning thieves and dumpers that officers are going to step up patrols. The Senior Center hosts a scrap drive each year as a fundraiser, but the chief says the site has turned into a dumping ground for everything from old couches to people's unwanted junk. And to make it worse, they're stealing scrap metal that is valuable. Find some more information online, 715newsroom.com. As we look across the border, western Wisconsin could be affected. Minnesota's legalization of marijuana could lead to more pot in our area. Well, let's look closer. 715 Newsroom coverage with John DeMaster rolls out the story.
Police in Eau Claire yesterday said with legal weed now just an hour or so away, more marijuana could find its way into the city. Minnesota became the 23rd state in the nation to legalize pot on Monday when the governor signed that new law. Eau Claire police reminded everyone yesterday that marijuana possession is still illegal in Wisconsin. I'm John DeMaster.
Look at that number. Does it look like spam? Hit end call. Wisconsin hopes to do that by joining a lawsuit against a telemarketer accused of unleashing billions of robocalls. Attorney General Josh Call saying the state is looking at holding Avid Telecom and its owner accountable. Says Avid Center transmitted more than 7.5 billion robocalls to people on the do not call list. That was between December of 2018 and January of this year. Now, every state in the nation except for Alaska is part of that suit as well. And hey, guess what we get to talk about? Turns out rattlesnakes come out of hibernation each year. And while we're safe here...
According to the Natural History Museum in LA, you're 8 times more likely to die from a TV falling on you than getting bitten by a rattlesnake. Now, some scary things. They can strike you at a distance of 2/3 their total body length. But you can outrun them. They top out at 5 miles an hour. They can swim, and they can bite you even when they're dead. If you are bitten, there's anti-venom, but it costs $20,000 a vial. You'll need as many as 20. Animal control says to keep snakes away, spray ammonia, vinegar, or cinnamon. They don't like those smells. I'm Bree Tennis, NBC News Radio.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
They can swim, and they can bite you even when they're dead.
Okay, Casper, I'm with you on this one. Snakes, no. For Sports Talk 105.1, I'm Morgan McCarthy.
A cold front slides in this morning, and that'll set up a cooler Wednesday with highs only climbing to the mid to upper 60s for today and a mainly cloudy sky, though peaks of sunshine are possible. Most of the area staying dry, but some could see a spotty shower. Otherwise tonight, partly cloudy, dipping to the upper 40s. Sunshine and warmer temperatures return tomorrow as we climb to the low 70s. I'm Skywarn 13 meteorologist Mike D'Andrea.
The planters continue to roll across farm fields as U.S. farmers now have 81% of their corn planted. That's a jump of 16% from a week ago. Let's take a look at some other farm news today on Sports Talk 105.1 and AM 790. Now, according to this week's crop progress report, that corn planting progress is 12% ahead of last year and 6% ahead of the 5-year average. Major corn-growing states like Iowa, Illinois, and Missouri have over 90% of their corn in. Minnesota is 80% planted. Even North Dakota, which has been hit with bad weather this spring, jumped 27% in planting pace last week. Now 32% of their crop in, but it's expected that anywhere from 800,000 to 1 million acres of North Dakota corn ground could be in the preventive planting program. Soybean planting jumped 17% last week, and farmers now have 66% of their beans planted, well ahead of both last year and the 5-year average. As with corn, major bean growing states, Iowa and Illinois, are furthest along. Well over 80% of their beans are in. Wisconsin farmers also made a lot of progress last week, jumping from 33% of the corn planted a week ago to 66%. In this week's report, our report also shows about 26% of that corn has emerged. Soybean planting also showed a nice increase across the state this past week. 55% of the beans are now in across Wisconsin, well ahead of last week and our 5-year average. State farmers also report they have 78% of their oats seeded, 83% of their potatoes planted, and many report they have started chopping their first hay crop of the season. And also across the state, down hay stored on farms. On the 1st of May, there were 560,000 tons in storage, down 11% from a year ago, with disappearance up slightly in the December through May period. Nationally, hay stocks fell to 14.5 million tons, the second lowest since 1950. That's a look at some farm news this morning on Sports Talk 105.1 and AM 790. I'm Bob Bosold.
Get ready to save with half-off deals, a great way for you to get goods and services that you will love and you don't have to pay full price. Be sure to check out all the great savings that half-off deals have to offer. There's something for everyone, so be sure to see for yourself. Be ready with your credit or debit card and get ready to save. For more details and to find out about all the savings, just go to aroundthe715.com.
Want to stop engine problems before they start? Pick up a can of Seafoam motor treatment. Seafoam helps engines start easier, run smoother, and last longer. Just pour it in your fuel tank. Seafoam is available where automotive products are sold.
Crank it up. Are you ready to take? Get up! Get up! He's on his way! He's our man! The man, the myth, the legend! That's Dan! And now, the Dan Kasper Show.
Second hour kicking off on this Wednesday morning of May 24th. It is a make and turn Wednesday. Stock reports are due, so send those puppies on over to the Shoe Doctors bullpen line at 715-830-1912. Don't forget, because we've got that new texting program, if you could attach your name to that, that way we can update all that, because that didn't convert over. So unless you want to really mess with my minds a little bit more this morning, because I won't have the caffeine in me, well, then more power to you. So let's kick off this second hour doing some sports nuggets of the day, brought to you by Yancey Associates. 1878, the first American bicycle race was held in Boston. We've got 1902, Bill Bradley became the first American League player to hit home runs in 4 consecutive games. We've got 1930, Babe Ruth hit home runs in both games of a doubleheader. Babe Ruth hitting home runs, who would have thought? We've got 1940, the first night game at St. Louis's Sportsman Park was played. Let's go with Willie Mays in 1951 began playing for the New York Giants. 1962, the officials of the NFL ruled that halftime of regular season games would be cut to 15 minutes. 1967, the AFL granted a franchise to the Cincinnati Bengals. We've got, what else do we got in here? We've got Al Unser Sr. won his 4th Indianapolis 500 in 1987. We've got a few more. Andre Dawson was initially walked 5 times during a game in 1990. And at the Colonial in Fort Worth, Texas, Annika Sorenstam missed the cut by 4 shots. 2 days early, she had become the first woman in 58 years to play in the PGA. Those are just some of your sports nuggets for the day, for this morning, brought to you by Yancey Associates. Coming up, we'll get to your responses on the NFL kickoff rule. That'll be a part of our Sports Vigilante in about, let's say, about 20 past the hour, 25 past the hour. We'll get back to some more baseball talk here, too, as the Brewers, a few hours from now, Game 3, the rubber match with their series against the Houston Astros. We got Adrian Hauser on the mound for the Crew tonight, looking for his first win of the season. Last night, we saw the Boston Celtics avoid being swept by the Miami Heat with a 116-99 victory. So that series gets extended while the Nuggets still await who they will be playing. I think we're all assuming it will be Miami at some point, unless Boston can somehow pull off a magic trick like the Red Sox in 2004 and come back and win this series. But nonetheless, Stanley Cup Finals, it's also been kind of one-sided. Vegas getting the victory last night to take a 3-0 lead over the Dallas Stars. And then tonight, Florida has that potential to sweep Carolina and advance to the Stanley Cup finals. So there you go. That's kind of your updates on those two leagues right there. So we'll bring in Lucas this morning. Good morning, Lucas.
Morning, Dan.
How are you?
I'm okay.
Yeah.
So what do you think of the prospective Vegas, Florida Stanley Cup final? And reminder, it's a singular. It's for Stanley Cup final.
Mm-hmm.
I was surprised, though, that book that I did that interview on the Hockey Nuts about hockey uniforms, they say Stanley Cup finals. I was a little perplexed by that, but maybe it's a Canadian thing. Anyway, what do you think? Panthers, Golden Knights. I know hockey can have 3-0 come from behind. It's happened before. Let's presume it doesn't. What do you think?
It's okay.
You're cracking her long out of it.
Yeah, so
looks like my
as
worst
long as,
enemy is
as
about to
long
go
as the
down.
Dallas Stars doesn't, because now I'm not a Dallas Stars fan since what they did to my Kraken. So I'm joining your ranks there. So
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So,
All right, so
let's go with Vegas because that gives me more motivation for the Kraken to get it done in the next couple of years too.
yeah, see if they can do it. So can the bar has been raised high for Seattle by what the
Now-
Golden Knights have done. That's 4 conference finals in 6 years.
I was going to say because Vegas, they've been to the Stanley Cup final before, right?
Their first year.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so I mean, who says expansion teams can't do anything right away?
Exactly.
Who says that?
See,
Nobody should
Kraken
say
already
that anymore.
failed.
Kraken, I mean, at least in the NHL, it doesn't matter if you're an expansion team.
No. Now, I'm okay. So what are your thoughts on what the NHL did? There was some savviness on the part of the Golden Knights management, but the NHL essentially set up this round of expansion so those teams could immediately compete.
I think it's fantastic.
Well, right. Like it's weird. Like I'll be honest. Part of me was like, this shouldn't be happening. They're supposed to be terrible for a few years. Well, why?
I think it's absolutely smart because it gets your fan base, into it right away here too.
Yeah.
We just have this automatic, notion in our minds that they're going to suck for a while. And to be fair, Panthers and Jaguars in their second years went to the conference championships in the NFL.
Yeah.
But I mean, those are the exceptions, not the norms,
right,
of everything.
Yeah, and that was early free agency era, parity era. Well, and then the next two after that, the quote unquote Browns and the Texans haven't done anything. So
right,
kind of a reversion to form. And the Jaguars admittedly have been one of the lesser franchises in their history. They were really good in their first 5 years, and then since then, outside of lately.
Hey, don't knock the Jack Del Rio era with Byron Leftwich and David Garrard. They went to some postseasons.
They did a little bit,
but their division stinks.
Also that. No, the more I think about it, the more I think I like it.
I love it.
I mean, you're going to get lesser players because, of course, teams aren't going to give you the best. I understand that. But if you have the ability to put that team together, like there shouldn't be an extra penalty just because that's how tradition has gone. Tradition doesn't that's not the fabric of the game. If you can do well, then you should be able to do well. And again, it's one of 32 teams. You're not supposed to have 2 sub teams for like 5 years and then you get to be a real team. No, if you can do it right out of the gates, fine. So what Vegas and Seattle's doing, awesome. We've kind of seen that in MLS. There have been some expansion teams. Like I remember Atlanta, I think won in their first year a few years ago. There have been some others that have done really well immediately. So I'll be curious to see what happens with the next 2.
What other leagues between the NBA, the NFL, Major League Baseball, if they bring in an expansion team, would have the better chance to be competitive right away?
Let's see. Well, now NHL is probably done at this point, but they've proven that you can.
Yeah, that's why it's these 3.
Right. See, there's a lot. It seems like there's more talent going around the NBA, but the NBA seems to be the most orderly. Yeah, I know you could be like, well, 8 seeds this year. Well, if you look at who's involved, this is not. These aren't like Cinderella stories going on right now with the Lakers getting as far as they did, the Heat getting as far as they are going right now. I think baseball would be toughest. You have such a long season. You got to put together your minor leagues. I wonder if, in all likelihood, Nashville and wherever that other expansion team is going to go, I think they may be in for some rough first few years. So they're on the opposite end.
I think I'm leaning towards the NBA as being the one because there's fewer players you have to put into. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
You can draft one and then you can go spend in free agency,
Well,
assuming you're going to get an owner that spends. And I'm assuming the NBA is going to get a Seattle and a Vegas one together.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah.
I think actually the NFL, would be the easiest because
it's so dependent on your quarterback, though. That's the thing.
It is. I think now here's where it may depend on draft position. And historically, not just in the NFL, but in a lot of these leagues, you're an expansion team, you don't automatically get the number one pick. Like you're a little bit further down because it essentially you're being rewarded for being completely new as opposed to a team that maybe really needs it because of prior performance. So that makes it tough. On the other hand, you have 4-team divisions. You can potentially win a division with a losing record. So if you maybe get a schedule break, I don't know what their schedule would be in a first year. Now we're starting to ponder like 33 teams, and that's beginning to get mind blow. But
I just feel like if they do the same expansion drafts in the NFL, I mean, you're essentially getting players who are like your third string on the other team's rosters already, and now they're vaulted into starters already. So I don't know. I can't. And the quarterback thing is such a wild card too.
The more that you talk about, like, now that I think about it with like the third stringer thing, I'm beginning to think it's a Houston Texans situation, like a current Houston Texans situation. Yeah. So yeah, okay. I mean, the advantage with the NBA is one guy can really carry you. It's just it's that dynamic of that league where if you're bad, usually you're bad for a little while and you got to stair step your way up. And if you're good, you're usually pretty good for a while.
I almost feel like though, if the NBA got a team in Vegas, players would flock there.
Yes. Well, with the right players flock there. I mean, you might get a lot of
LeBron
players.
wants to be an owner, so wants to be that owner.
I'd be curious to see who, and like that talk about needing to build a good chemistry team. Oh boy. I don't know. But yeah, I think NBA would be I think it goes, now that I think about it, yeah, you're right. NBA, NFL, MLB.
Yeah, I would agree with that order. I mean, because when I think of Major League Baseball too, it's like, ooh, I keep going to the Oakland A's, and that's not a great example, but that's what it might look like initially. So
yeah, but now again, I know there's all this NFL expansion talk for like Europe. I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah,
there's so many logistical issues with that. I don't. Again, it might be money. Yeah, well, if it's not as easy as, well, let's just do this, I don't know how quickly that's going to.
What do you think of Jim Irsay yesterday saying that when Roger Goodell calls it a career, they might actually split up his job? Did you see that?
I did not.
So he said that once Roger Goodell's done, and Roger Goodell announced that they've had those discussions, that when he's retiring, they may split up his job into two roles, one an actual NFL commissioner and then another CEO of business for the NFL.
I'm intrigued by that. I think you get less incoming at that point because you're not covering everything.
One side may not influence the decisions of another, you know what I mean? Sort of thing.
Can have more of a sport-focused one and more of a business-focused one. And then we're not necessarily hearing about how much we need to take care of Amazon.
Right.
Now, that could also lead to issues of essentially one being like a
power struggle.
Right. A neo-player representative, in effect, who probably would, I would imagine, would come out against a Thursday night flex, and who ends up winning that battle? I would think the business side would end up winning, as Andrew Brand always says, and he said it on his podcast after the owners' meetings. The business of sports always wins in those contexts, mind you, but there for sure.
I'd be curious the hierarchy on that. Like, And I know the owners are the bosses of like Goodell and all that sort of thing, but I'd be curious on the hierarchy between a football czar and then the CEO of business. Like, what if there is a disagreement between the two?
I don't know who wins. Like,
Right.
who's the tiebreaker?
Probably the owners, but
Right.
but the owners are more business side of it too. So, but you're right. Like the commissioner would almost be like, you'd think player NFL PA president type of thing.
Here's where, what I think they might end up doing ultimately, think of it like how the presidency works. And there's a chief of staff. And the chief of staff is kind of serves like the prime minister does in other countries, but without the level of stature that a prime minister has in other countries. And we're getting into government organization, blah, 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 blah. But the chief of staff, it's kind of the fixer. They get a lot of stuff done. Whereas the president makes the final decisions, oversees the broad, the good of the country, if you will. So like
the commissioner would be the president, maybe the CEO would be the chief of staff.
Right. And that person is taking care of Amazon stuff.
Right.
All of those sort of sponsorship-y deals where you start to go, oh, well, if the CEO's taking care of it, you barely even hear about the story. But the commissioner can rise above and talk about how we're growing. And there they could actually talk about protecting the shield and not immediately induce an eye roll.
It's almost, I mean, maybe it's kind of similar to, I don't know, Green Bay's structure? Because Mark Murphy, yes, he's president, but I would say he's more of the business side of the presidency. Because you got Goody and all that with the football decisions.
Kind of, but I think,
bit.
See, I think more along the lines of Murphy as overall commission than like,
right, yeah,
like
I'm just saying like
Ball or someone like that. And that's
right.
really more
It's,
the analogy.
you know, because you got Jerry Jones, who's football and business, because he's, you know, owner and GM sort of thing. Whereas I view Murphy more from a business side of things with his role for Green Bay, which when we get to that topic in a couple of years about his legacy in Green Bay is going to be fascinating.
Yeah.
I mean, that's quite the retirement party he's going to have because he literally retires 2 months after the draft in 2025. So, I mean, you got that.
Boy.
You got Titletown, but also the kind of face or one of the faces of the Favre and Rodgers thing, you know, both those quarterback transitions. So, yeah, kind of an interesting legacy.
Yeah.
But from a business side, I would say it was successful. Titletown district.
It is, yes. I
The
mean,
draft, it's a big business. Expanding Lambeau Field, more seats in there.
this isn't a perfect analogy, but is it Tagliabue-esque in terms of growing the game?
Well, it's really interesting you just mentioned Tagliabue because Mark Murphy he just mentioned it at the tailgate tour. The reason he got back in the NFL was because of Paul Tagliabue.
Really?
And they apparently have a really close connection. And when Tagliabue went to the Pro Football Hall of Fame, remember where he got his ring? It was at a Packers game. He called Mark Murphy and wanted it done at a Packers game.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we were wondering why.
Yeah. But
that explains.
Tagliabue was the one that got Murphy back in the NFL.
Wow.
So it's interesting that you mentioned that comparison a little bit.
Huh. A little closer than we thought. Did he say why Tagliabue got him back in, or how? What was the logic behind
I think it was just because he probably recognized, the skills that he probably brought, to the table and such. He was a former player, but also involved in a lot of those NFL PA stuff. I think he was a player rep or something like that too. So, but yeah,
well,
interesting.
That's cool.
But I anybody who wants to, make fun or kind of criticize Murphy with football decisions and such, I don't think you can criticize his business side of things. He's made money for that team.
If there's no Titletown, are they having the draft?
No, they're not. That simple.
I mean, they do some, not draft, but they would do some sort of development. But if they don't do the full-blown Titletown thing akin to
if Kmart,
Patriot Place or something like that, yeah, they're not getting it.
Kmart and Big Lots are still there. Draft's not going to have their stage out there.
Right.
No Titletown, no draft.
Okay, now have they said how much they're going to do inside Lambeau Field in the bowl?
No, they haven't said anything yet. So
I have to imagine there's going to be because again, you don't want to screw up the grass But I mean, it's also late April. They've got time to regenerate it, to replant, etc. They've I mean, if you're taking the draft to Green Bay and Lambeau's the thing, like we talk about landmarks in other cities, they've got to hold some pretty significant draft picks inside Lambeau Field.
Well, my question, I'm trying to, because the other locations they've had it, what did they do in Dallas? It wasn't in the stadium, I don't think, was it?
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
I thought.
I don't remember off the top of my head. Chicago, it wasn't. I know that.
Right, and it was what, Union something. I'm blanking in Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
Nashville was just like downtown.
Yep.
It was seriously on the street. Yes, Dallas was in Jerry World. I'm looking at the pictures of it now. I remember that.
Okay.
And where else? Philadelphia was. I mean, that's an iconic location. That's the museum.
Vegas was. I mean just pick a spot. Vegas,
the Strip. Yeah. So if it's Green Bay, it's gotta be Lambeau Field.
I don't know. I keep going back to the Resch since they redid all that.
There'll be plenty of events around it. I don't know that you would want like day 3 picks in Lambeau Field, but the night of, I'm partially going to tune into a Lambeau Field NFL draft because I want to see them making draft picks and having people walk up to the stage and do the whole dap.
How concerned though would they be since it is an outdoor venue? It's Wisconsin in April.
Well, there are. I don't think it's that big of a deal. If
there's a snowstorm and the draft picks are coming out on the stage, the national people already complaining about this thing are going to have a heyday.
Oh, darn. So Green Bay won't get another NFL draft until there's
a dome on Lambeau Field.
Yeah, because they should have built a dome in the first place. Is channeling Bob Bosold here. And apparently Vince Lombardi to a certain degree. Great. So then they won't have the draft come back to Green Bay until it would be up for coming back to Green Bay anyway in like 15, 20 years when everyone would forget about that anyway. So, yeah, whatever. They had it in Chicago about the same time of the year, which I know it's further south, but it's not that far away. I'm actually more concerned it's going to be roasting hot.
And to be fair, they didn't have it outside in Chicago either.
Well, how did that?
That was it was over by Michigan Ave. There was a theater that they did it in.
Okay. Oh, wait, because they had the two. They had the big outdoor thing, but then there was that theater.
So the outdoor thing was mostly for the fans. You know, Roger Goodell, when I was down there in 2015, would come out and he opened up the draft outside. Then they, had a stage outside, and I think it was who's the Red Zone host?
Scott.
Scott Hansen.
Yeah.
Him and I think it was Melissa Stark at that time. She's with NBC now, but they were like hosting it. Some of the draft picks would come out and that sort of thing, but the draft inside with all the phone calls and all that sort of stuff was in the theater.
So I would think two options. Resch Center is the obvious one. I mean, we've seen how multi-purpose that is. Heck, I've eaten a tailgate lunch on the floor of the Resch Center before a Packer game.
When did you do that?
Say what?
When did you do that?
That was on one of our Packer buses.
But how many years ago?
2019.
It's a little bit different now.
How did they redo the Resch Center?
They've expanded it now.
Oh, okay.
It's completely different right now. Because you remember where Brown County Arena is? No, it's all.
That's right. Yes. Okay.
That's why they've got these big music concerts in there now, and Luke Combs and all that.
So, that means there's even more room for like the logistical part of this. Because I was going to say you could do the atrium
because it
really
literally touches the road right up by the parking lot for Lambeau now.
Okay, so here, perfect world, I think. Because ideally, you still want this to be in the bowl of Lambeau Field. If it's in the Resch Center, again, you might as well go back to Radio City Musical, and at least there you can recognize the interior. The Resch Center is still pretty generic. I mean, no, it's not a knock. It just is. But I think you look at the weather, and you have two setups and kind of mirror setups. So if you need to go inside, you can do it there, but you set everything up with like those big tent-like things that they have in the main NFL draft setup and put that in Lambeau Field, like a big covered concert, in effect, which would look kind of strange having all of this.
I hope there's a
roofing.
snowstorm. I really do.
That would be hilarious.
I really do. I'll be there. So, I mean, I hope there's a snowstorm. Why not?
I don't know if they would at that time of year. I mean, the late April and also Green Bay, remember, it's a little warmer than even we are.
But this year they did get snow in the end of April and that.
Oh, boy. But see, that's perfect.
That's
The
what I'm
frozen
saying.
tundra.
I want it to happen.
Right. If they go frozen tundra stuff, and I mean, people would be like, yeah, football, woo! I mean,
Draft picks can slide down the Arians Hill.
Yes. Oh, wow. You got some ideas here.
No, I think they should ride the bikes up to the stage when they get
gosh. Wow. Have you given Aaron Popke a call?
picked. Yeah, right.
You got like ideas right and left here.
That's where they could ride the bikes from the Rush Center to Lambeau Field, just like they do at training camp.
Wow. That would be that'd be cool.
Odds. Here we go.
Okay.
Odds that Roger Goodell rides a bicycle at some point draft weekend 2025. I say they're very good.
I almost did a spit take on that one.
I think it happens. I'd buy that prop bet. I'd put money on that one. He's going to ride a bike.
I'm going to put...
It may not be during a draft, but it's going to be during like a promo or something.
3-1 odds?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he'll do something like that. Because again,
that'd be really awkward if him and Mark Murphy both rode a bike together, but...
That would be a meme we would never stop seeing, even after they've retired.
Mm-hmm.
And it would look so dorky.
Yeah, it would.
Gosh. This needs to happen. Yeah, I think they will try to get
a kid's bike too.
Of course, yeah. Like BMX or anything like that. Look, they're going to try to get it outside, and I think they should try to. Again, that's the image of it. But then there's also, remember, the Titletown district. That's going to be a whole part of this thing too. We keep thinking towards the east part of Lambeau Field. Well, to the west, that's the thing.
They're going to want to show that off.
Yeah. Which I know a lot of it's housing, like, okay, big whoop. But there's also a lot that's Packer oriented. That's football oriented. And again, this is all about football.
Any open office space there, probably just like you're going to get that exposure on draft weekend is probably going to sell itself.
The houses along Lombardi. Hello.
Well, believe me, I'm trying to secure one. It's tough.
Yeah, I would think so.
Airbnb, it ain't working out right now. So.
Oh my gosh. And it was it Brandt? I'm trying to remember which podcast I was listening to that said this, but I think it was Brandt, and he would know because he's got so much Green Bay history. He said the focus of this draft is going to be far more football focused compared to entertainment, city focus, which is fine, but that's the nature of this one. So I would think they're going to find as many football things and super serve on those, whatever that is. And again, there'll be a big Lambeau element to this. So that being said, I don't think the Don Hudson Center becomes too much of a part of this.
No, I don't.
That's more Packer facility stuff, and I don't really know that anyone really cares that much. It's not like
if they try to redo the Vince Lombardi artificial intelligence thing or whatever it was from a Super Bowl, they need to do a better job.
Well, they've got 2 years to work on it, and AI is becoming super, super huge. I wonder if they go to City Stadium and do some draft picks.
Oh,
if we're gonna make a football thing out of this, hey, do the whole the Heritage Tour?
Yeah, they better get Cliff Crystal involved in this thing.
I mean, yeah, if you're gonna make this about a celebration of the game, why we care about this in the first place, you've got a ton of things you can use around the city of Green Bay to drive home the history of football. If you want to do a reminder for people that think, oh, this is all about just making sure Amazon makes a lot of money. It's not even about football anymore. Okay, cool. Here's where you can remind people, this is why you love football. Bam, 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 bam. All around the city of Green Bay.
Yep. You do a pick from Lombardi's desk in the Packers Hall of Fame.
Whoa. Do a pick by the Ice Bowl's real-life sculpture.
Mm-hmm.
Have someone do a Lambeau leap.
Well, that'd be Leroy.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So.
Uh-huh. Wow, we got ideas.
Yeah. Popke, text me back, man. So.
Mm-hmm.
All right. went a little long there. So I don't know if we got to do a quick version of Sports Vigilante. Okay.
Okay.
We're going to talk about this NFL kickoff coming up.
You're listening to The Dan Kasper Show.
The Shoe Doctor is known for quality footwear. Remember, the Shoe Doctor can keep your feet comfortable during all the different outdoor weather and activities here in the Chippewa Valley. Work boots, casual shoes, sandals, and more from brands you trust like Keen, Merrill, Chaco, and Dansko, and that's just to name a few. Located on Claremont Avenue in Eau Claire, you can also visit them online at ShoeDoctorFootwear.com. The Shoe Doctor, quality footwear for work, sport, and fun.
The brands you trust, prices you'll like, the service you'll love every time you buy. Appliances for your home at Amundsen.
More brands, more savings, get more options in May at Amundsen's Appliance. Dishwashers starting at $4.99. Stainless steel French door refrigerators from $14.99. These appliances are in stock and ready for delivery. Make it easy. Come to Amundsen's Appliance in Rice Lake, Eau Claire, Chippewa Falls, and Hayward. Or shop us online at Amundsen'sAppliance.com.
Amundsen.
Planning those cookouts and backyard barbecues, maybe some tailgating at the ball game or weekend trips to the cabin? Well, you're going to need to stock up on the brats and the hamburgers this year, so it sounds like a trip to Mike's Star Market is in your future. So while you're there, grab some Man Cave Light brats and dill pickle with cheese and bacon brats, because sales of those brats go to help backyard dreams. Plus, grab some burgers for the grill while you're at it. Create that epic cookout this year with the best meats in the Chippewa Valley. Head to Mike's Star Market on the west side of Eau Claire today.
Service Master of Chippewa Valley is your local expert when it comes to fire and water damage, carpet and air duct cleaning, mold remediation, and trauma. They're when you need them 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. Trust comes in the yellow truck. Learn more at ServiceMasterChippewaValley.com. Don't let joint pain or an injury keep you from enjoying an active life. Mayo Clinic Health System orthopedics and sports medicine specialists provide examination and treatment options to help get you moving again sooner. Call them today to schedule an appointment. Current patients can also conveniently schedule appointments for orthopedics and sports medicine via the Patient Online Services portal. Why wait? Search Mayo Clinic Health System Orthopedics and Sports Medicine and get started on your journey to recovery.
If you were to listen to Dan Kasper nonstop around the clock for a solid month, you'd become the king of all sports fans, desired by beautiful women, and rich beyond your dreams. I think. Try it and let's see. The Dan Kasper Show.
We'll get to Showdown coming up next hour. I've got to pick the years yet. I've been slacking, so I got to do that yet. I'll get these papers out here. So, but I think we're getting close to wrapping up the second round already.
Oh, good.
Wait, no, I actually did pick the years. Never mind. No, I didn't. Never mind.
Sure they
Ignore
weren't
me.
like soaked in coffee?
Don't. That just ruined my day. I got one of the years. I started to do this last week, then I think I stopped. So 1 year's picked. One of them was 1991. I'll tell you that. Okay. No, wait, it can't be. We already did 91. Just ignore me right now, and I'll figure it out after the break here.
Okay.
Good Lord.
You need a moment.
I do. I told you. All right. Let's do some Sports Vigilante.
We all want to be like Batman, fighting crimes and saving the world. Well, now is your chance to save the sports world. Because we are the Sports Vigilantes.
All right, so yesterday with the owners' meetings going on to the west of us in Minnesota, one of the new rule changes that they're going to be doing is the fair catch. So on kickoffs or free kicks, wherever you signal that fair catch signal, you're going to get the ball automatically at the 25. And the reason was because we saw, according to the NFL, an increase in those like pop-up kicks in the corner and trying to pin teams back. We saw Green Bay do it quite a bit with Mason Crosby and such. But according to the data from the NFL, that has also increased concussions and injuries, and they want to cut those down. So, I mean, Are we at the point where we're just going to eliminate the kickoffs? How do we change? How do we fix the kickoff, Lucas?
I'm going to make my third Andrew Brandt sighting in the morning. He said he could see this leading to an increase in the squibs next year. So this might actually lead to more concussions.
Which has been, I've seen that argument.
Yeah. So I don't know if this is going to work. How do we fix this? I like the XFL approach of making more like a conventional play with the offense and defense right next to each other. And once the ball is received, then they can start going after each other. That way you don't have people charging down the field and building up momentum and blowing up someone. That might be the best approach short of totally eliminating the kickoff. Like, I get the whole, it's part of the game, the kickoff. Okay, but it doesn't really work anymore. That's tradition that I think has to go away. And I right now, I would try to do something a la the XFL rule, because the others aren't. We're still tweaking. The tweaking isn't entirely working. So go XFL route. And if for some reason that doesn't work, then let's eliminate it entirely. Because what? We're going to keep having concussions, or we're going to keep doing tiny things where we end up with a lot of fair catches and still remember Brandon's tweet of long commercial break. Let's do a kickoff, touchback, long commercial break. And you can go like 7 minutes without any game activity. I don't want that. That's not entertaining to me as a fan. So let's find something that is entertaining that also doesn't involve people getting CTE and dying early. So what is that? Probably something like the XFL approach. That would be my initial one. I don't know that that's perfect, but it's better than what we're doing right now.
I think eventually it's going to happen that we just don't have a kickoff. Right? I mean, it's just going to happen. I mean, it's hard for me because I'm a purist or old school. I like the kickoffs, and I don't know if this will, I mean, for some teams, maybe if they don't have I feel like they have a dynamic kicker, they may just automatically do the fair catch all the time sort of thing. But I also feel like if teams are confident in their kick return game, maybe now Green Bay with Keyshawn Nixon, this won't change anything for them, and they'll still return it out and still, try to get a big play after it. It'll be interesting to see which teams are aggressive with this, and if they got the aggressive special teams coordinators on top of it too.
Well, because if it goes squib, more squibs, let's say, because teams will try to take advantage of any strategic opening that they can find. They think there is going to be an advantage in doing more squib kicks. They're going to do that. Try to pin down teams back around the 10-5-yard line. Is that going to lead to an even more aggressive special teams? Does the squib kick get banned after this year?
Probably then. I think so.
Huh. What is more bothersome in terms of something critical to the game? Think about this. The kickoff or the squib kick?
I think it's a squib kick.
Yeah. Yeah, I know at first blush you'd be like, it's the kickoff. Come on. That's part of our vernacular in life, not just sports. But the squib kick is kind of more of a long-time football thing. Whereas the kickoff that's more of it doesn't necessarily work with the game. I wonder, and I know the other part with the squib kick is you can't time out like, okay, ball goes in the air. You can figure when it's going to hit the player. So you know when you can, again, blow them up running down the field. With a squib kick, ball's bouncing all over the place. So you can't be charging in full steam after running for 30 yards to knock a guy because the ball might then bounce to the right and then you whiff. And yeah, that so maybe now that I think about it, I don't think it would be more aggressive, but I wonder if this could lead to a banning of the squib kick. But ultimately, I think this leads to something where squibs are not even necessary, and that's like one of those fourth down options. Do you have a preferential fourth? Those ideas of instead of a kickoff, you do like fourth down and you get to keep the ball or whatever. Do you have a preference on any of those, or are you not a fan of any of those concepts?
I'm not really a fan of any of those, to be honest with you. I do wonder. I know Rich McKay mentioned that they're kind of keeping an eye, or they have been keeping an eye on the XFL thing, where they're not allowed to start running until the guy catches the ball, the returner catches the ball.
Mm-hmm.
That to me would just, I mean, they obviously they've been doing it, so I
mean, there's still an element
know.
of I guess a little suspense because the guy's got to catch the ball first.
That's a
That
nice way of
doesn't-
putting it.
Yeah, well, and doesn't always happen either. So what does that lead to?
Mhm.
What we need is something with an element of uncertainty, and having touchbacks is too certain. If you have a certain play, there's no point in having that play. You make a play because you don't know what's going to happen. Otherwise, why bother doing it? Essentially, you're forfeiting the play.
Mhm.
So I'd be intrigued by the XFL approach. I don't like what's wrong with the XFL approach. And I saw that same quote from McKay where he said, like, as a fan, he thought, oh, that's kind of, but is there anything really bad where it becomes like the topic of the week of how much this sucks and how it ruined a game? Is there anything that's really that bad about that rule?
I'm like indifferent on this whole thing. I like the old. What I don't like is when we start changing stuff so much where it gets confusing to follow.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, maybe it's just me being old and that guy in the front yard screaming at the air or something like that. But as a kid growing up and watching, you knew it was okay. You kneel it, you're coming out to 20. Otherwise, you return it. That simple, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now I don't want it to get to a point like where pass interference was like, what is a pass or what is a catch? What the heck is a catch now?
A football move.
Right. What the heck is a football move then? Got to do the whole slow down, 3 steps, going upfield. It's like, geez Louise, So I guess part of me too is like when I think back to good old backyard recess football, now you're going to have kids, doing fair catch so they could move it up to the second basketball hoop in the recess court or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No,
I hate it when it gets to, I'm all for making it safe. I'd be really curious to hear from people or players who actually play special teams and make a living on special teams though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like a lot of those young guys are like late draft picks. What's the old adage? You make the team by making special teams.
Mm-hmm.
That changes now, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
That changes.
Unless it's, I don't know what teams would think about this, but do you take those special teamers and put them on that so-called 4th down play? If we get beyond the XFL approach and take out kicks entirely, are they the ones that line up on that play? So essentially you're having your third stringers determining whether you keep the ball. I mean, you kind of are right now.
Mm-hmm.
So do you do it under those circumstances? I mean, that would be kind of entertaining to then bring in your third string quarterback to potentially or I mean, in most cases, second stringer, but do something like that to try to keep the ball. Yeah, they got to make it simple too.
Mm-hmm.
Both have to be done. Again, with everything, what is entertaining to the fan? This is a combination safety approach and entertainment approach. So how are we entertained while the players are still safe?
Right.
If you marry the two, see that's where I think the 4th down option. I know that now you've lost the kick, but okay, pretty clear. You got X number of yards to get. You get it, you keep the ball. You don't, you lose it. Something like that. And I'm oversimplifying some of these approaches, but if you can keep it fairly simple like that, I'm in on that. I follow that. We're not having touchbacks anymore. You get the XFL approach of having everyone lined up and they're not running down the field to charge into each other. I think that might be the long-term solution here. I think the XFL approach is a good one in the near term, but I think ultimately we're going to get to some sort of a 4th down approach of choosing where the ball is and How do you do that? Whatever, like you surrender the ball or do you something like that? But where it's a real, like it's an either or proposition. It has to be to the point where it's as simple as the debate of recent years of do you go for 2 or the extra point? What do the analytics say? Do you go for first down or do you punt on 4th? What do the analytics say? But it's an either or proposition. Right.
Analytics. Oh,
right.
gosh.
But the point is with those, it's an either or proposition. And we can debate that as fans. That's good because that's the entertainment part of that. If it's an either or thing, good. If it gets into multiple layers of but it was down at but it was supposed to come out to are they at the 25? They see, like, I've lost track of if they're going to the 25 or the 20 in a given year. And I'm a football fan, but I've lost track of that because A, it's changed so much, and B, so many times it's a touchback, I'm not even paying attention to the kickoff. Like, I've barely paid attention to any kickoffs other than, it's on the TV in front of me. I'm like, is this going to go out? Yep. Okay. I don't care as much, and I'm a football fan, so that needs to be fixed.
Yep. I agree. All right, so we got to take our final break here. Then we got stock reports, and then showdown. I'll tell you the 2 years coming up after this quick break.
Got a take on today's topics but can't call in? Then hit us up on Facebook, Twitter, or the text line and let your fingers do the talking.
Keep your spring showers hot with a new water heater from Hurlburt Heating and Plumbing. Extended through May, when you purchase a new furnace and air conditioner from Hurlburt, you'll get a free water heater. Consultations are always free, and interest-free financing is available too. Give us a call or visit us online at hurlburthp.com for more information. That's hurlburthp.com.
Price, quality, customer service. That's the big 3 I look for when I'm looking to get a big project done. And sometimes it can be hard to find all those 3 in one place. But when it comes to replacing your flooring, one place hits all 3 of my marks. Carpet City Flooring Center in Eau Claire. They hit the pricing mark because they will match or beat the competition if you happen to find a better deal elsewhere. Quality is pretty easy because they have all the best and top-of-the-line flooring options that you could ask for. They carry the best brands in carpet, tile, luxury vinyl, and more. And customer service. I could talk to you throughout this entire commercial about their customer service. It's easily one of the best, most courteous, helpful, and friendly staffs you could work with. They're with you through every step of the process, from finding the floor that fits your budget and what looks good and works best in your home or office. Taking on big projects can be a little nervous to think about, but when it comes to replacing your flooring, that nervousness goes away with the help from Carpet City Flooring Center in Eau Claire. Just visit them today at 3109 East Hamilton Avenue in Eau Claire and see for yourself. The reviews are in. It's the best thing I have ever tasted in my life. This is the best thing that's happened in my life, even better than my wedding. That's what everyone has to say about Man Cave Light, the official beer of the Dan Kasper Show and the Man Cave Podcast. Try it for yourself and you'll know exactly why people say it's like sipping a little bit of heaven. Man Cave Light is available on tap at the bar in Hy-Vee. You can also grab a crawler or 6 and take some Man Cave Light home with you. So go try your new favorite beer, Man Cave Light, today, and you will know exactly why one reviewer said, I cry tears of joy every time I have one.
Since 1946, Ansay & Associates has provided insurance to help secure businesses and families throughout Wisconsin. With custom coverage and superior customer service, Ansay & Associates can provide all of your insurance needs. Visit ansay.com today and get a free consultation with one of our strategists.
They're investigating We Can't Stop Watching this month on BritBox. Sit back, relax, and enjoy watching the detectives. Discover Britain's most bingeable mysteries, including the brand new season of Grace, the hit series based on the books by best-selling author Peter James. Unwind with the detectives you could watch all night long. Stream them all now exclusively on BritBox. Endlessly intriguing. Start your free trial at BritBox.com.
Maybe you miss parts of the Dan Kasper Show because of the clown that lives in the sewer.
You will do.
Don't worry, you can get highlights of the show on the Man Cave Podcast, available on your favorite podcasting platforms.
Sheesh, that thing is old.
Yeah. So
Seriously.
I don't know what's going on. I apologize, but yeah, all my stuff just went away. So
Bigfoot.
Could be.
The Kraken is gonna come up through the.
But isn't that creepy though? With it was in manual at like 11:50 at night.
Weird.
Yeah. Because I was ready to yell at somebody. You know, I'm like, who was messing with stuff? You know, and then I'm like, okay, but who would have been messing with stuff at 11:50 on a Saturday night?
Who do you want to yell at if they're messing with stuff?
Well, I didn't know if like our engineers were doing something or what. But
Okay.
I'm like,
You know our engineers. They work like you talk about night owls. They're night owls.
right.
They may have been here at 11:50.
And it was after a Brewers game, I believe. So
Hmm.
I don't know. Wow. But I was ready to throw down. Like, why is this station? You know. all
Now you're
that?
just scared.
No, and I logged in. I'm like, why the heck is it in manual? I was ready to yell at Murph because I thought maybe it was what Newsmakers. He didn't upload it.
Why not? Just yell
Yeah.
at her.
You know, I thought I was, and then I'm like, okay, but all those hotkeys automatically get pushed when I'm on the air or sitting in the studio, and now this just happened.
Maybe it was you and you don't realize it.
Ooh, whose ghost would be in this building, in this studio?
Uh-huh.
I might have an unsolved mystery. It's called Robert Stack.
It
It might be Robert Stack.
W286CK Eau Claire. Sports Talk 105.1 and 790 AM. from the 715 newsroom, it's Morgan McCarthy with your news on Sports Talk 105.1.
Good morning. We begin with an update. Monroe County deputy out of a job after his canine partner died from heat earlier this month. The sheriff's office yesterday said Detective Alex Moss resigned from the department. He'd been on administrative leave since his canine partner Colt died from heat last week. The dog was rushed to the vet May 10th after being locked in a hot car and never recovered. Vernon County Sheriff's Office, Juneau County District Attorney's Office, both helping with the investigation into the dog's death, and that investigation is ongoing. Looking locally, police in Chippewa Falls furious with a mess at the Chippewa Falls Senior Center left by illegal dumpers. Police Chief Matthew Kelm was on socials yesterday. Maybe you saw this on Facebook, warning thieves and dumpers that officers are going to step up patrols. The Senior Center hosts a scrap drive each year as a fundraiser, but the chief says the site has turned into a dumping ground for everything from old couches to people's unwanted junk. And to make it worse, they're stealing scrap metal that is valuable. Find some more information online, 715newsroom.com. As we look across the border, western Wisconsin could be affected. Minnesota's legalization of marijuana could lead to more pot in our area. Well, let's look closer. 715 Newsroom coverage with John DeMaster rolls out the story.
Police in Eau Claire yesterday said with legal weed now just an hour or so away, more marijuana could find its way into the city. Minnesota became the 23rd state in the nation to legalize pot on Monday when the governor signed that new law. Eau Claire police reminded everyone yesterday that marijuana possession is still illegal in Wisconsin. I'm John DeMaster.
Look at that number. Does it look like spam? Hit end call. Wisconsin hopes to do that by joining a lawsuit against a telemarketer accused of unleashing billions of robocalls. Attorney General Josh Call saying the state is looking at holding Avid Telecom and its owner accountable. Says Avid Center transmitted more than 7.5 billion robocalls to people on the do not call list. That was between December of 2018 and January of this year. Now, every state in the nation except for Alaska is part of that suit as well. And hey, guess what we get to talk about? Turns out rattlesnakes come out of hibernation each year. And while we're safe here.
According to the Natural History Museum in LA, you're 8 times more likely to die from a TV falling on you than getting bitten by a rattlesnake. Now, some scary things. They can strike you at a distance of 2/3 their total body length. But you can outrun them. They top out at 5 miles an hour. They can swim, and they can bite you even when they're dead. If you are bitten, there's anti-venom, but it costs $20,000 a vial. You'll need as many as 20. Animal control says to keep snakes away, spray ammonia, vinegar, or cinnamon. They don't like those smells. I'm Bree Tennis, NBC News Radio.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
They can swim, and they can bite you even when they're dead.
Okay, Casper, I'm with you on this one. Snakes, no. For Sports Talk 105.1, I'm Morgan McCarthy.
A cold front slides in this morning, and that'll set up a cooler Wednesday with highs only climbing to the mid to upper 60s for today and a mainly cloudy sky, though peaks of sunshine are possible. Most of the area staying dry, but some could see a spotty shower. Otherwise tonight, partly cloudy, dipping to the upper 40s. Sunshine and warmer temperatures return tomorrow as we climb to the low 70s. I'm Skywarn 13 meteorologist Mike D'Andrea.
Economy Furniture in Chippewa Falls is something that you gotta see. The biggest selection for miles around, 2 jam-packed floors of quality. At Economy, you don't have to wait for a sale. It can be yours immediately. Everyday low prices on the best brand names, and we finance it interest-free. Furnishing the Chippewa Valley since 1950. Economy Furniture's for me.
My plan from Verizon puts you in control. Get exactly what you want, only pay for what you need. All on the network you want. Head into your local Verizon store now.
Let me ask you something. Did you name your firstborn after a football player?
Hell yes.
Did you spend your honeymoon going to a football game?
Oh, you betcha, yeah.
Do you spend most of your free time hanging out in your man cave?
Yes!
If you answered yes to all the above, then you, my friend, are a serious sports fan just like Dan.
Yes!
This is exactly where you belong. Sports talking and BSing is what we do best.
What? Did we just become best friends? Yep.
So rise and grind, people, because the Dan Kasper Show is on the air.
You serious, Clark?
Right now.
Showtime! Woo!
Third and final hour coming at you right now. By the way, the year's 97 versus 83.
Okay.
97 versus 83. Nope. Never mind.
What?
I thought I had this one figured out.
Oh, boy.
Hold on. I might have it now. 98, I meant to say. Not 97. 98 versus 83.
98 versus 83.
Hold on. No, I'm just kidding. No. Okay. 98 versus 83.
Okay.
Just double checking again.
All right.
So, okay.
Awesome.
Oh boy. All right. So, okay. I think I'm getting hacked, by the way, Luke. I just got a message from my text or from my bank. This is not a good morning for me.
You need to get out of that room.
I mean, spilled coffee and all this crap. So, for the love of Mary and Joseph. Okay. I don't know what's going on with my life today. So, stock reports. Stock falling me. There you go. Yours. Stock falling or rising. What do you got?
I'll say, okay, well, since your stock, you self are falling, Kevin Warren, former Viking, was it CFO or I can't
remember now he's the current president of Bears, former Big Ten commissioner.
Yeah. It's the Big Ten thing.
Yeah.
Apparently he didn't leave the Big Ten in that great of a position, which I thought everything was going pretty well when he was there. And then came that story at ESPN yesterday of the new commissioner who is trying to save the primetime slate that's coming on NBC because apparently the big schools didn't really know about it, that it was going to go into November. They're like, wait, what? What are we doing? And there are other aspects of like moving the championship game off of Fox, even though because Big Ten Network actually owns a lot of the Big Ten media rights. That, of course, if you know your history, you remember that that's owned by Fox. So it kind of awarded a game that was technically owned by Fox to another network. So now he's going to try to get the Bears into a new stadium. Let's see how this goes. I'm not saying that it's now a lock that the Bears are going to be playing in the spaceship that landed in Soldier Field for the next 30 years. But, and also, like, don't weep for the Big Ten either. They will be okay. But Kevin Warren, I think, jumped the gun on some of these things.
Yeah. RJ did I don't know if you listened on Tuesday, but yesterday RJ did a really good job breaking it all down.
Yeah.
For us with everything going on. So.
It's just, it's not good. Incredibly, I don't know what, I did not hear RJ's segment, but I don't think the Badgers are immediately affected by any of these night games. It's really more like Penn State got booked in for one and Ohio State got booked in for one. I know a lot of us are like, well, no, like on principle, like this sort of stuff probably should not be happening. Take out the big school. That should not be happening. There's nothing illegal about it. It's just, come on, you do a better job as commissioner. But it could affect the Badgers at some point. You get like a night game on NBC in November that they weren't thinking they were going to play. So that's a problem. And if I'm a Bears fan, I would be a little concerned about what he did there. And is he going to be that effective? Like, he seemed fine with the Vikings. There wasn't any problems with his roles, but
or was it a role you just didn't hear anything about?
Well, maybe that. And he also wasn't in charge. He's not one of the Wilfs, obviously. But I wouldn't think you can't keep failing up. He probably did good in that particular role, and he probably got out ahead of himself. Well, he's in a pretty significant role with the Bears now, and so, but there's some folks in Bears world that are like, "You sure you're doing your due diligence on this stadium project?"
Right.
We'll see.
All right. So my stock riser, I think, was it last week I said Green Bay, or was it the week prior? But it wasn't. I called it. So
City of,
and well, that just got bigger. So I'm going Owen. Not a lot to pick for stock rising for the Brewers, but I will pick one player, and that's Wisconsin native Owen Miller, who is letting it up for the Brewers right now. So far this season, hitting 347, 368 on base, OPS of an 893. In his last 57 at bats, he's hitting 404. He's position versatility. I mean, he has played couple games at first, which was actually ironically the majority of times he played first base with Cleveland when he was over there. 19 games at second, 11 games at third, 5 games at left, 2 games in right field. He hit another home run last night, 3 total hits. The one bright spot in this offense so far, and it's not a knock on Christian Yelich because he's been playing better too, but Owen Miller's stock is rising.
Definitely so. I'm going to go to, before I get too far along here, because I talk about this when I'm on the radio and I talk about our Brewers Cubs bus trip July 6th. Go to wiscotrips.com to reserve your spot on the bus. Like my read there. And it's true. You listening can do that. Is the number one rival of the Brewers the Cubs or the Cardinals?
Cardinals.
Even though the Cubs thing is more visceral because, the whole I-94 thing.
I feel for me, maybe it's different for older fans, but for me, it's more of a Cardinals one.
Okay. So
I've been hurt more by the Cardinals than I have by the Cubs.
So at the very least, I'll say your Brewer arch rival, the Cardinals, I'll go to them for a stock riser. Obviously, as we've observed, they've been winning a lot more. They're now.
I feel like the Cardinals are everybody's rivals in the Central, though, too. They're one of those teams.
Yeah. They're like everyone's
They're like
rival.
the Packers.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of a good other sports analogy just for funsies, and I can't quite think of it. Where it's not a team that that really does anything bad, but you're like, gosh, just go away already. And the Cardinals are that team. But again, I got to figure out what that better analogy is. Obviously, they've been playing well of late. They have the second best run differential now in the National League Central, which isn't saying much.
No.
But it's another tidbit I heard the other day. It was from the Baseball Tonight pod, obviously, but some strong suspicion that we've been talking about the pitching, lack thereof, around Major League Baseball this year, and that there's really not going to be a savior pitcher this year. If a team that has pitching difficulties, i.e. the Cardinals, they've gotten better, but that's still a soft spot on that team. Well, there is a name that's kind of in the discussion now, as the ESPN folks flagged, and it kind of makes sense for the Cards. One Shane Bieber of the Cleveland Guardians.
You mean Justin Bieber? I'm just kidding.
Ha, ha, ha. Shane Bieber, unfortunately for Brewers fans, pitches way better. I don't know if Justin Bieber can even... He's more of a hockey guy anyway because he's from Toronto. The Guardians are not playing well right now. Ironically, they're in third place, yet they're not that far from first place in the AL Central. That Aaron Gleeman from The Athletic tweeted this morning, some team is going to hang a banner and pour alcohol all over themselves for winning this division. And the Twins are in first place with a 25-24 record and looking really not good right now. This might be the division that ends up with a sub 500 record, and they're going to go he's right. Some team is going to go berserk. Yeah. With a sub 500 record. Cleveland seems to be like they are having an off year. Everything that worked last year isn't this year. And Cleveland is one of those proactive teams, like I've talked about the Brewers in the past, like the Rays. Smaller market, not as much revenue, but they do like building up their farm system to stay constantly competitive. And yeah, having a guy like Terry Francona as your manager will keep them more likely to be afloat. But the front office could well trade Shane Bieber, and the kind of people that the Guardians need are the kind of folks that the Cardinals have in a plethora, position players. It's a really good match. Do not be surprised if Shane Bieber goes to the Cardinals this summer, and that's the thing that allows St. Louis, if Milwaukee can't finally figure themselves out once and for all, allows them to do the leapfrog and run away with the St. Louis Cardinals, who I thought were dead.
How dare you think they were dead, too?
I know. What was I thinking? Now they may end up running away with the NL Central. Now, by running away, that might mean a record of like 85-79 or something. I do no 85-78, 85-77. That's 162. But they still might end up doing that. There's reason to be optimistic if you're a St. Louis Cardinals fan right now. Sorry, but there is.
I don't know if too many. I know we got a few, but I don't know too many Cardinals fans too who were necessarily panicking too much at the beginning of part of their season.
I actually don't know too many Cardinals fans.
Oh, I know. I think I know too many that I'd care to admit.
Are they annoying? No offense to them, but are they annoying, or are they like decent, like good baseball fans?
They're good baseball fans.
Okay, good.
I'll say that. Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah. I figured so because Cardinal fans seem to be that way anyway.
I wanted to make a joke on one of them, but I won't. You know what? I've just the way my morning's going, I don't want to have any more bad karma, so I'll just yeah.
Yeah, play it safe at this point. You still have another 45 minutes to go in that room.
Yeah.
You still got to cut a pod after this?
I don't know if I want to.
Today's podcast is unavailable due to cursing.
Yeah.
Not that kind of cursing, the other cursing.
It's the studio curse.
Jeez.
Man, I got to do this credit card thing too. That's going to bug me. Who's trying to hack me? I think I know what happened, but I'll wait till I find out exactly. So,
okay.
Yeah. Not cool. Let's just blame the draft for that.
You still think there's going to be a Kraken that comes up through the vent below you, behind you?
No, I'll be good with that.
You sure?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll be good with that. It is. I'm just really struggling to find a place for the draft right now. I'm on option D. So, and
Okay.
I think something caught up to me.
You're going to stay in Nina?
I mean, I know people there, but I just, no offense to one of them, I'm not staying with him. I'm not staying with him.
Okay.
I won't say names.
We have our reasons. That's okay.
Yep. No, thank you.
Okay.
But
yeah, set up a tent.
Well, that's the thing is like, I'd love to get the mobile man cave going by then. You know, the bus, the ambulance, or the RV. But hell, I'll go to a campground if I have to. And camp it.
You're out in like Shawano County. We're live from the draft. 45 minutes away.
Hey, you know what? Got to do what you got to do, right?
Well, it's like when you're live from the Super Bowl and you're halfway across the metropolitan area. You really might as well be in a different state.
You know what? I might as well just buy a condo for a couple of years over there, you know, and sell it afterwards.
Hey, can you do one of those timeshares and end up in one of those commercials?
Timeshare. I didn't even think of timeshare.
Those timeshare people are trying to rip you off.
I don't understand the concepts of timeshare, so that might be dangerous too.
That's okay in terms of, and we're way off track here and whatever, because the timeshare thing needs to be figured out. What commercial concept has punched above its weight more than the timeshare? How often have we heard timeshare commercials over the last 20 years? And I have no bleeping idea what a timeshare is. But apparently it's a plague across America because there's so many of them. Are you stuck in a timeshare? No, because I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
What is it? Why is this a problem? Why would you do something that apparently is the worst thing ever?
I don't know, but that's got your gears grinded for somebody who doesn't have a timeshare. So
I know, and I don't even get it. And then, like I said, that guy, well, heck, we were listening to some commercials the other day because, well, we're listening to other stuff and the commercials come on. One guy is talking about how we're going to protect you from your timeshare. You know, that guy, he's like anti-timeshare lawyer. But then it sounded like the same organization comes on with an ad a little later on saying, if you want to be part of a timeshare, what is it?
Yeah.
We pro or anti?
Yeah, I don't know. It's too much for me to kind of. I want stuff easy, so I need people.
I get it. Hey, if anyone owns a timeshare, please feel free to text us.
No, don't, because I don't want to get more confused.
Text us only if you can state what a time. What is a timeshare?
Let's just do it like this, like
10 words or less.
No, like Michael Scott from The Office. Explain it to me like I'm 5.
Yes, please.
You know, and remember, I don't know the names now. So if we got people texting now, but I don't know your names. So
that's right. We got to fix that too.
We got to fix that too. So
we lost all our names, so now you're all anonymous.
Yeah.
Which means if you want to you're not entirely anonymous because we can go cross-reference with our old list, right, for a little while.
Yeah. So what I think happened with my card thing here too, and which I got to figure out because, you know, I'm under pressure to find a place to stay for the draft.
Right.
Well, when I was trying to see if I could reserve one. People don't text my cell phone. Text the studio line. Who your name is. I mean, come on now. Studio line, not my own cell phone. Okay. Now you're just really confusing the crap.
All right.
out of
If
me.
you need me to, I'm going to spend this afternoon going through and relabeling everyone. I'm going to do it because I like having names on there so I actually know who the heck everyone is.
Anyways,
yes.
I got to put my phone down now because people are texting my phone, my personal
Blowing up
phone.
your phone.
I was trying to see if I could. So, like, I don't know if you ever tried to reserve like a B&B or a house or anything like that.
I've never had to do that. No.
Okay, so
but I know the concept of it.
So
yeah.
you try to reserve it, but then the person has to approve it. So you get like 24 hours.
Right.
Well, a couple of them have already denied me. I'm assuming it's because they're going to jack their rates.
Mm-hmm.
One didn't respond, so the reservation just expired. And I was trying to do another one, and the website said there's an error. I'm like, okay, what's going on? But then I get a text saying, hey, did you put so-and-so money on your credit card? Well, no, because it didn't go through, and now they froze my card.
What?
Yeah.
The heck?
I'm having a day. I might have to crack one of those dandelion wines in here a little earlier than usual.
Wow.
This
Man.
is why I don't like being in charge of reserving stuff for people and all that.
You need like an agent.
God. Yeah.
You know, like a real tour.
But I'm
or something
very,
like
I'm
that?
very hands-on. I gotta know when it's getting done. I don't trust people either. So that's how I was with like school projects and
No,
that.
you're in a bit of a pickle then.
I am.
Because you need to be in control, but you don't want to be in control.
Right.
So what do you do?
I only got 2 hands. I can't juggle like 6 things at once.
Oh,
I'm one of those who probably can't chew gum and
well, you spilled
walk.
the coffee already, so there's kind of some proof.
Spilled coffee. I've frozen my credit card, and yeah, a lot of good stuff.
Man, it's only 8:21.
Wonder if they'll let me go home at 9.
I would. I'll put in a
talk to the
good word with
bosses?
her. Yeah, I'll put in a good word with her and be like, please get him out of here. He needs to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Okay. Tell you what, let's take a break. I'm going to try calling them and get you an update on this thing.
Okay.
And then we'll do showdown.
Sounds good.
How about that?
Yes.
And if anybody wants to tell me that they got to hook up on a house and make it really easy for Green Bay in 2025, I'd really appreciate that. I don't know what else to do here. I think I might have to take a break from trying to rent these B&Bs.
You just bike around Lambeau for the whole thing and do like a mobile thing.
Because like hotels, you can't book that far out yet.
Right. And good luck when they do.
I know.
open
That's
up.
why I'm like trying to take advantage of some of these people. Yeah, I'm trying to take advantage of people right now with their low rates. That's why I'm trying to do it now, so they don't realize what's going on. So, yeah, it ain't working so far. My plan ain't working.
Yeah.
But
good luck.
We'll be there. That's the goal. I will be there. I will be there for a few days.
If
It's
you have
happening.
to walk around, you will be there.
You know what? If I gotta, I don't know, but I'll be there. I'll be there at some point. I just don't know how.
Best of luck.
You know, I know somebody who, this is the funny thing. So I know somebody who works in Lambeau Field. So I texted them,
Mm-hmm.
do you have any room? Like he works in Lambeau Field, works for the team in some capacity. I don't know if he wants me to say who he is or anything. You know what he said?
What?
He's going to be out of town that weekend because that's when they do their draft. I'm like, are you sure you probably won't have to work that weekend?
Why?
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
dude, I think you're probably going to have to work.
I think so.
So I don't know if they didn't realize it. Yeah, but they do their dynasty draft over that weekend for fantasy football.
That's going to change.
Dude, I think you might have to work.
I think so.
You work in Lambeau.
Sorry, vacation.
And it's not a janitor. So, you know, you work for the team in some capacity.
Yeah.
I think you're going to have to work.
I think so. Yeah.
So, do you got the room or not? I'll pitch a tent in your front yard or something like that. I don't care.
And by the way, just in case, not that you asked, but I don't know anybody in Green Bay. Like, I think I literally don't know anyone.
I know people, but I just don't know if I want to stay with them.
Yeah. Like, I used to know, like, people from EAU who went over there because that was kind of a pipeline for a while. I think it's gone there might be one person over there who used to work at EAU, but I'm not quite sure. So, yeah, like I said, I know some people that live in broadly suburban Green Bay, but I'm not sure how close that's getting you to Lambeau.
Mhm.
Like, again, you might have to go down into the Fox River Valley a little bit.
Yeah, they got Ubers.
That's true.
You know, they got Ubers.
So might have a couple people if you're.
There's going to be a lot of people making bank that weekend, Ubers.
Yes. Hey, that's what you do. You be an Uber driver that weekend.
No.
Really?
I want to enjoy the draft. I don't want to have to work all the time.
Yeah, it's true. Because
Yeah.
you're the one that's actually we have to remember you're actually going to be breaking down all the picks. You're going to be that one guy there standing during the 7th round.
Well, I might as well tell you, I might retire after that weekend now, too. I might join Mark Murphy and say, you know what? I've accomplished everything. I'm going to retire.
Well, you still haven't been employed by the Packers.
Well, maybe this is a way to be employed by them.
I suppose. I mean, there's 2 things you still need to do.
This is my Super Bowl.
Well, there's 2 things left to do. That and teach a history course, sports history course at UW Eau Claire.
Well, see, if I retire from this, then I have more chances to do that.
Right. Well, and here's where the Uber thing comes into play. You drive an Uber during the off hours, make some coin, you can afford grad school. Get yourself their master's degree, and then you can be a prof.
I did think about going back to school. I have been thinking about that. Really have.
It's not the craziest. I've honestly, I pondered that myself too. Like it's not the craziest idea. It's not like I don't like. I definitely enjoy what I'm doing, but every so often you're like, what would it be like if I were to get a master's? You just keep doing the radio thing, obviously, because that's cool. Like I'm not going to stop, but like on the side, do like, okay, hey, you, Chancellor Schmidt, are you listening?
No.
Okay. Gonna say. You got a couple DJs here who wouldn't mind teaching courses in, like, you'd be sports history. Of course, I'd be like pop music history. Can you create a class for that? Would that work? Get extra promotion here on the radio? Like, maybe could you do that? It'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
But we also got to afford the money to get a master's degree, too. There's also that.
Yeah. You can
spending, it's cost enough money raising a kid right now.
Be an influencer on TikTok.
Yeah.
On YouTube.
On the Snapchat.
Do they still do Snapchat?
Snapchat is still really big. I was surprised. I thought it was tailing off, and every time I look at data on something, Snapchat's strong as ever. But you don't hear. But the thing is, you don't hear about that because that's the whole point of Snapchat, that the stuff disappears after 10 seconds.
Gotcha.
Right. So of course, nothing goes viral because it's Snapchat.
All right, let's take that break. I'm going to make a quick phone call to unlock my credit card and try to get these BNBs taken care of. Then showdown, all right? Otherwise, Luke's finishing up the show so I can get out of here and not jinx anything.
180! The Dan Kasper Show will be right back.
This is one of my favorite times of the year. Nice weather, golf, vacation time, little league games, enjoying the warm weather before it's gone because it's Wisconsin and you never know. But it seems like this time of year also goes by quicker than any other time of the year. And we know time doesn't speed up. It's just because we're so busy doing so many different things that it just seems like we never have enough time. Before you know it, we're already into fall and hunting season. So this is my quick reminder to you hunters that even though we're heading into spring and summer, time is going to be flying on by and we are going to be preoccupied by so many things. So don't forget to get that new deer rifle or new shotgun before the fall hunting season from Tilden Gun. Whether you're looking for new or used, Tilden Gun has the best selection of firearms to choose from, all at the best prices in the Chippewa Valley. Now is the time to start getting ready for fall hunting season. So don't let it sit on the back burner during your busy time. Visit the locally owned and family operated Tilden Gun today at 12427 98th Avenue in Chippewa Falls.
Next up, straight talk from Doug. Ever notice that saying no offense is offensive? Like, no offense, but you're overpaying for your wireless. See? Offensive.
That's the Straight Talk talking. Get unlimited plans as low as $35 a month from Straight Talk on America's most reliable 5G network. Available at Walmart and Walmart.com. On the $35 plan, first 10 gigabytes data at high speed, then 2G speeds. Refer to the latest terms at straighttalk.com. Based on most first-place rankings, root metrics, second half 2022 assessments of 125 metros. Experiences vary, not an endorsement.
This update sponsored by UW Credit Union, the local Wisconsin team that's always rooting for you. BP and Amoco want you to come on back. Earn a free terrace-level ticket to one of 33 Brewers games during the 2023 season by purchasing 7 or more gallons of gas at participating BP or Amoco gas stations. Start a stamp card today. Call 414-902-4000 for more details. UW Credit Union, here for every you. Join today.
Don't let joint pain or an injury keep you from enjoying an active life. Mayo Clinic Health System orthopedics and sports medicine specialists provide examination and treatment options to help get you moving again sooner. Call them today to schedule an appointment. Current patients can also conveniently schedule appointments for orthopedics and sports medicine via the Patient Online Services portal. Why wait? Search Mayo Clinic Health System Orthopedics and Sports Medicine and get started on your journey to recovery.
The Dell Technologies Summer Sale event starts now with limited quantity deals on select performance PCs with Windows 11 Pro. Save on select Vostro laptops with built-in security features and select Latitude laptops with enhanced privacy, collaboration, and connectivity. Save on essential accessories, plus free shipping and special financing with Dell Business Credit. Dell Technologies recommends Windows 11 Pro for business. Call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL. Offered to business customers by WebBank, who determines qualifications for and terms of credit.
Who doesn't love cooking up a good burger on the grill? Having a good burger is one of the most satisfying moments in your life. And now we have the perfect burger to put on the grill and create more satisfying moments in your life. It's the Dan Good Burger, available only at Hy-Vee in Eau Claire. This burger has bacon, cheese, and ranch seasoning all inside the patty to give you that perfect balance of taste and awesomeness in each bite. So head on over to Hy-Vee in Eau Claire and grab yourself a few Dan Good Burgers and fire up that grill.
Keep your spring showers hot with a new water heater from Hurlburt Heating and Plumbing. Extended through May, when you purchase a new furnace and air conditioner from Hurlburt, you'll get a free water heater. Consultations are always free, and interest-free financing is available too. Give us a call or visit us online at hurlburthp.com for more information. That's hurlburthp.com.
There aren't many people as sports smart as he is, so he tries to use tiny words so people like me can easily follow along.
That doesn't make sense.
The Dan Kasper Show.
All right, time for another edition of Showdown here. Second round continues. We're getting close to wrapping up the second rounds coming up here, too. So 98 versus 83. 98 versus 83. So 83, if we started off with the sports world, Washington defeated Miami in the Super Bowl. That was also the 83 draft earlier that year, too, right?
The legendary 83 draft.
Yep.
The year of the 48-47 Monday Night Football game.
Oh, yeah, the Packer one.
Uh-huh.
Yep. Penn State beat Georgia to win the college national championship. We've got, if you're a USFL fan, the Michigan Panthers defeated the Philadelphia Stars.
First year of the USFL did actually pretty well that first year.
Couple of, this is sadder notes here, but some of two of the best coaches of all time in football passed away in 83. It was Paul Bear Bryant and George Halas.
That's right.
In 83. So elsewhere for, let's say, baseball, Baltimore defeated the Philadelphia Phillies 4-1.
The top Pine Tar incident year.
Basketball, North Carolina State defeated Houston. I think we know that game.
Maybe arguably the most legendary of all time. Arguably. But I think you can make a pretty strong case for that as the best national championship game ever.
We had the 76ers defeated the Lakers in a sweep in the NBA Finals. We've got, let's do a little hockey. And in this one, it was the New York Islanders swept the Edmonton Oilers 4-0. Wayne Gretzky won NHL's Most Valuable Player, the Hart Memorial Trophy. So, golf-wise, you had Tom Watson winning the Open over there. Anything else for
Seve won? Was that the Masters? I think.
Yes. Yep.
Seve Ballesteros. In terms of state sports, let's see. So, Bucks were the one team that defeated the full 76ers. They didn't quite go that. It was a one game, I think, that the Bucks won in the Eastern Conference Finals in the playoffs that year. Bucks were that was the beginning of their really, really good stretch. Even if they never made it to an NBA Finals. Brewers were good the year after the World Series. But I'm not sure if they would have qualified. Well, but that's that unknown. Like if there were wild card spots, would the rest of the season played out different? But they were in first place, I think, by August back in the 2 division era. Packers, we talked about, like, very dynamic offense, horrible defense. Bart Starr got fired at the end of the year. Badgers, there wasn't really that much going on either way there. I'm thinking football and men's basketball, of course. Okay, 98.
We don't want to remember that Super Bowl. Super Bowl 32. Denver defeated Green Bay.
The helicopter.
Yep. Rose Bowl, we had Michigan Wolverines defeating Washington State Cougars. That was Charles Woodson's Michigan Wolverines, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
We had, what else do we got on here? Baseball. We had
the home run chase.
Yes. I was going to say the Brewers also moved from the American League to the National League.
We're taking this thing national.
Cal Ripken Jr. ended his consecutive game streak. This was when Kerry Wood struck out 20. Yankees won the World Series over. I remember watching this World Series against the Padres, and it was so boring. I wanted the Padres to win because I was a Tony Gwynn fan.
It was, but that was one of the best baseball teams that ever existed. The 98 Yankees.
Yeah.
And that's saying something given some of those other Yankee teams in baseball history. The 98 Yankees were a juggernaut.
Yeah. What else did we have? The NBA Finals. The Bulls beat the Jazz.
But I still consider the end of the Michael Jordan era. I know I'm memory holing the 2000s intentionally.
Yep. Kentucky beat Utah. I remember the Rick Majerus Utah team. I remember watching that one. What else do we got on here? Hockey-wise, we had there we go.
Red Wings?
Yes, defeated the Capitals 4-0. 4-0. Golf, VJ Singh. David Duvall was your money leader that year. Cool, $2.6 million.
David Duvall.
Marco Mira won 2 of the major championships, Masters and the Open.
We did have the Winter Olympics that year. Again, not fair with 83. It was the Tara Lipinski year. And the very underwhelming U.S. men's hockey performance in Nagano.
All right. Sports-wise.
Let's see. I mean, if we're talking, if you go to, like, what was the preeminent moment? I mean, you've got the home run chase, which captivated the country, versus the Jimmy V moment, which has aged way better.
Yes.
That's the problem. See, 98, I think you'd make a pretty strong case. If we were doing this in like 2003, you'd be saying 98. And you'd be thinking going forward, you'd be like, it's going to look better and better and better. And now it's like we were living a lie.
Right, exactly.
So how do you count that? I mean, it happened in real time. It's like the NCAA Final Fours that get that get wiped off the records.
Yes.
Are we supposed to pretend that it didn't happen?
Right. Yeah, you're just supposed to like erase that from your memory banks.
It did. I remember so much of this. That's kind of the different. Like the Packers were an overall better team in '98. Brewers were an overall better team in '83. The Bucks were definitely better in '83. Badger football was definitely better in '98. Badger men's basketball. I mean, that's also era. 98.
Well, 98 though too. You got to add in the Jordan shot.
Yeah, that might put it over the top.
I think it does for me too.
I'm gonna go 98.
I was gonna go 83 with Jimmy V, but I agree with you because it just dawned on me. I mean, how do you not put that Jordan shot in there?
Yeah.
I mean,
and we haven't even gotten to like what else was going on like NFL that year. I mean, if you talk about rookie performances that seemingly were changing the game in real time, both years had those. Eric Dickerson in 83 and Randy Moss in 98. So it's almost kind of a wash there.
Yeah.
And I felt like Randy Moss, part of its sports culture had evolved, was a bigger deal by 98. But I think the Randy Moss thing was a bigger deal across the NFL. I'm not just saying that as a Viking fan. I felt like he was becoming a star in real time. Yeah, I'll go with 98.
I'm going to go 98 too, as much as I don't want to because of that Super Bowl, but
yeah,
the Jordan.
Yeah.
I got to go Jordan. So, all right, 98 sports.
Yeah.
Music,
I think 83. I mentioned this before when we were doing our music analysis, that the 83-84 era of music has really held up well, and it's kind of become it's still influential on current pop music. And there's so much good music that was coming out. I know that's subjective, but when you look at who was popular around that time and look what was on the charts, like Like, just look up Billboard. You can look at like old Hot 100s on their website. And you're like, whoa! Like every song at a certain point is like a classic. That was the year of Thriller, if that's any indication. Thriller came out in 82, but it was the year of Thriller. Billie Jean, Beat It, all the other singles from that album, Flashdance, Every Breath You Take were all big that year. And music was getting more energetic that year. It felt like something was happening. 98 was probably the first full year that teen pop was becoming a thing. Backstreet Boys were starting to become big stars now. They'd already had a couple hits, but now they were well established. NSYNC broke in 98. So you had a lot of teen pop on the radio. Sugar Ray was pretty well dominant by that point. In terms of albums, though, I'm going to defer back to 1983. It was a more consequential year.
Okay, so tied up, heading into the movies here. Let's go start off with 83. Kind of moving on. I mean, this was A Christmas Story in 83.
Yeah.
Coming up there. So,
that's influential.
It is. Definitely as you move up a little bit more, we've got, where did they just go here? Hold on a second. Superman 3 Flashdance, Risky Business, National Lampoon's Vacation, The Right Stuff, Trading Places, Dan Aykroyd, Eddie Murphy, Return of the Jedi, Scarface, and The Outsiders.
War Games was that year. It was
War
reminded of
Games,
that the other. There was an AI discussion on the Simmons pod, and he brought up War Games. I'm like, oh my gosh, we were kind of dealing with artificial intelligence 40 years ago. All good movies. Plus, Mr. Mom.
Oh, Michael Keaton.
I know, it's like my running joke because it was always the preview that was ahead of VHS cassettes in the late 80s. Was always the Mr. Mom one. Well, that was 83.
I love me some Michael Keaton.
Yeah, so
big Michael Keaton.
Okay, so 98.
98 was the year of the end of the world movies. Deep Impact and Armageddon.
We were all freaking out about Y2K and Nostradamus and asteroids. That was a fun year.
Yeah, right? No kidding.
Gosh, we were all like scared.
Basketball, everybody's favorite cult. Well, here we go. Cult classic, basketball. Maybe he's on that list for people. We got The Man in the Iron Mask with Leonardo DiCaprio, the heyday of Leo.
Yep.
We've got Shakespeare in Love, Mask of Zorro, Dr. Dolittle, Stepmom, Waterboy, Rush Hour, Enemy of the States. We've got The Parent Trap, Truman Show, American History X, The Big Lebowski, Meet Joe Black, and probably majority of people's favorite war movie, Saving Private Ryan.
Yes.
In 98. So,
all-timer.
Yep.
Ooh, boy.
I got my pick. It's close, but I'm going 98.
Yeah, I think so.
A little bit more depth.
That's the thing. See, the other thing with 83, I was going to throw in okay. Do you count a TV movie in some of this stuff?
What is it?
The Day After?
Oh, yeah, I think
have you ever watched that?
I've seen parts of it.
I've seen most of it. That is one of the few that legit freaked me out. And that was not in real time. I'm sure we've all heard this, and maybe if anyone's old enough to remember, apparently when it did air, and I was 5, but I had no idea what that movie even existed on TV until many years later. Probably just as well, because I've heard plenty of anecdotes of people that were really scared out of their wits like that for a TV movie. Mind you, it was on ABC. It was horror level stuff. And then even Ronald Reagan got a preview of it, and apparently it changed his perspective on nuclear weapons, if that's any indication.
Yeah.
And the kicker, have you seen the end of the movie? So it ends pretty dark. I mean, not as it could be darker, but it ends pretty bleak. And then at the end, there's this thing that says, in the event of an actual nuclear war, all of these circumstances would be worse. You're like,
oh, geez. Okay.
Oh, I know. You're like, holy bleep. Yeah. So, okay. I'm not sure if that necessarily means it's a better year for movies, but that was that era of TV movies. You could almost count them. I mean, do you count miniseries like Roots? If you go back to 77?
Even It was a TV movie, wasn't it? The original It?
Don't remember.
I thought it was. I could be completely wrong, but
yeah. Was it the War of was it the Thorns. It was another 83
Oh,
thing.
yeah. I remember that thing because it was based off of books,
Right.
wasn't it? Yeah.
But that was a thing back then.
Yeah.
Which, okay, yeah, now we have it. It's a streaming series on Netflix. That's really what miniseries have become. It's the same concept.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
98 was also the year of insect movies. Bugs Life and Ants. It was like studios were copying each other that year. Between End of the World and insect movies.
Well, at least we weren't doing Guardians of the Galaxy 9.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's a fair point. All right, 98 advances.
Okay, let me just do that. Mark it there. So I'll do a better job next week getting our 2 years lined up here. I thought I had it worked out ahead of.
And keep the paper away from any liquid.
Just got to make it for 14 more minutes. I couldn't get through the freaking credit card place either.
Speaking of liquid, okay, I'm Darren Ravel just tweeted this. He did a retweet on, I'm not going to say the name of the place, but that there is like if you do an iced coffee and you have less ice, you get charged more. An extra, it's a quarter, but you have to pay an extra quarter for less ice. Now they're talking about, now Darren Ravel says already crazy margin on coffee, a less ice fee is thievery. Okay, at first blush, I agree. You're like, so you're not going to put as much ice in, you're going to charge more. Well, question is, does that mean there's more room for the actual coffee, which is what you really are buying? I mean, think about it.
Yeah.
Like, you really shouldn't pay for ice anyway. If you're getting more of the, like, if you have a no ice option, that means, that's the thing I've always thought when you buy an iced beverage of any sort, you're not getting the full cup's worth. You're getting a whole bunch of big chunks of ice. And this is anywhere. So really, if you're getting it without ice, you're getting more. That's why I usually don't put ice in a beverage if I can fill it up, because I get more of the actual beverage that I want to drink. If I need to get it cool, stick it in the fridge.
Yeah,
fine. So just a note: if you ask for less ice, you may, depending on where you go, may end up paying a bit more.
Good nugget.
Yeah,
there. So
or ice cube.
Ice cube.
Yeah.
All right.
Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. Okay, let's wrap up things and. Hopefully the karma turns around here a little bit.
13 minutes. Oh, 13.
Yeah, great.
You're listening to the Dan Kasper Show.
Now that we've gotten some decent weather, we're now more active outside, mowing the lawn, golfing, working on completing some projects. But with all that, that also means you're probably getting a little sore in the back, neck, and shoulders. It sounds like you need a quick adjustment, which means it's time to go visit Dr. Logan at Shepke Chiropractic. With us all being more active this time of year, chances are that we're going to need a few adjustments to our neck and back. That's why at Shepke Chiropractic, their goal is to work with each patient to achieve their goals and perform to their fullest potential in the capacity that their life requires. So don't let your neck or back pain slow you down on your busy summer. Let Shepke Chiropractic help you get adjusted so you're able to get those rounds of golf in or complete those outdoor projects this year. And Shepke Chiropractic has 2 locations to better serve you. All you have to do is visit ShepkeChiropractic.com to learn more and to schedule your appointment. Your journey to a healthier and more fulfilling life starts at Shepke Chiropractic.
Hi, my name is David, and I'm one of the owners of a successful family-owned business called Northland Buildings. Growing up on a dairy farm in northern Wisconsin, I learned from my dad the values of putting in a good, honest day's work and not quitting until all the chores were done right. That meant recognizing quality in everything we did on that farm. And that ethic is now the core values at Northland Buildings. I guarantee, as the CEO, you won't find a higher quality post-frame building than ours. We do everything we can to use building materials based and manufactured right here in the Midwest. If you built one of our buildings in the past 30 years, you know the quality I'm talking about. And we want to say thank you for trusting your animals and equipment to the protection and housing you get in a Northland building. All the information you need is at northlandbuildings.com. Built tough for the Northland.
Northland Drive safely, Wisconsin. Highway workers are out on the road. They do it to better serve you. And just like you, they want to get home safely at the end of a hard day's work. When driving, all of us have a chance to set the right example. Be patient. Put down the phone. Never text and drive. Slow down and move over if possible to give workers a little extra room. Work zone safety. It's everyone's responsibility.
Sponsored by the Wisconsin DOT.
So, I have a question for all you guys out there. Why is it that I see you hauling all kinds of stuff in your trucks? Lumber, ATVs, furniture, and everything is strapped down tight. Except you. I mean, come on, fellas. You're just as important as your buddy's blue plaid sofa. Buckle up.
Pickups rock. They also roll. Buckle up in your truck and arrive alive. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Department of Transportation.
Get ready to save with half-off deals. A great way for you to get goods and services that you will love and you don't have to pay full price. Be sure to check out all the great savings that half-off deals have to offer. There's something for everyone, so be sure to see for yourself. Be ready with your credit or debit card and get ready to save. For more details and to find out about all the savings, just go to aroundthe715.com.
Economy Furniture in Chippewa Falls is something that you gotta see. The biggest selection for miles around, 2 jam-packed floors of quality. At Economy, you don't have to wait for a sale. It can be yours immediately. Everyday low prices on the best brand names, and we finance it interest-free. Furnishing the Chippewa Valley since 1950. Economy Furniture's for me.
Want to stop engine problems before they start? Pick up a can of Seafoam Motor Treatment. Seafoam helps engines start easier, run smoother, and last longer. Just pour it in your fuel tank. Seafoam is available where automotive products are sold.
As a roofer, I don't have time to fail. Homeowners rely on me, so I rely on Beacon. Beacon's unique network of branches work together to get me what I need when I need it. Every branch working together. And with the new Beacon Pro Plus app, I've got the brands I depend on, like GAF, right at my fingertips. Now through June, purchase online with Beacon Pro Plus, web or app, and earn up to $1,500. Beacon, always building.
Thanks for listening. And thanks for checking out our live stream on YouTube and Facebook. And thanks for not mentioning that spot on Dan's shirt.
Barbecue stain on my white t-shirt.
I guess that's why he never wears white.
You can't handle the truth.
The Dan Kasper Show.
All right, wrapping things up here on this Wednesday morning. Brewers, by the way, just a few hours from now, 12:10, first pitch, as they try to wrap up this series against the Houston Astros with a series win. Got Adrian Hauser on the mound going up against the team that's drafted him back in 2011. So we'll see if the Brew Crew can get that series win and maybe actually have something positive to come out from this month of May so far, because it's been a rough one.
Yeah.
It's been a rough one. So after that, they begin a 4-game home series with the San Francisco Giants starting tomorrow. Brewers currently holding a 1-game lead in the NL Central. I see Aaron Rodgers already got hurt.
Yeah.
I'm curious, like, how many Packers fans do you think legitimately will be following Aaron Rodgers this year outside the whole draft pick, compensation sort of thing? Because, I mean, I still kind of followed Favre when he was with Minnesota and the Jets for a year.
I think it's probably going to be like 70%. But now that covers everything.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, most aren't going to know of Aaron Rodgers news, but initially you want to know, like, how is he doing over there? Like, I was kind of curious. There's part of me that doesn't want to hear about all things Aaron Rodgers, and there's part of me that was like, what, did he already got injured? Oh my gosh, what does this mean? Well, because it's all fresh. But will we want to get Aaron Rodgers updates in week 5?
Right.
Yeah.
I
don't know.
I was, when I saw that pop up on social yesterday, a couple things went through my mind, half jokingly.
Mm-hmm.
One was, don't think Aaron ever got hurt first practice when he was in Green Bay for OTAs.
Yeah.
2 was like, all right, everybody freaking out that he's actually spending time at OTAs with his new team. Here you go. It's like that it's like that baseball player going on the mystery IL, sort of things. Like, oh yeah, he got hurt. Now he's not going to do anything else for the OTAs, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Some of it was actually kind of right. He said so the way he strained his calf, which Packers fans know he's had calf issues before, a couple times, I think now. But it was during a pre-practice conditioning routine. It was a team's routine of using medicine balls and sleds in order to get players loose for the practice session. Rodgers saying afterwards, I haven't done it before. I haven't done it in 18 years. So obviously there's some science behind it. All right.
Cool.
Yeah. Now you guys get to, read between the lines there.
Science.
Asked specifically how it happened. I don't know. Just running, I guess.
Boy.
You can have no Jets. Hey,
Sure.
I'm an Aaron Rodgers guy, but I knew it. So it was like the whole 18 years. Well, I've done this in 18 years, and now it's like, first OTA practice, he does something new and he gets hurt.
I'm actually looking at WFAN to see, is this like a thing this morning, or are they more concerned with other? No, they don't have any real new tweets up. They're actually having like Bernie Williams on. So that's probably just as well.
And the Jets are bringing in that Matt Arezia punter for a tryout.
Let's give him a shot.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, he's the first team to give him a shot. So
okay,
there you go. But yeah, I was like, it's hard to ignore. I think it's a little bit different this year compared to like Favre. Social media is so much bigger. It's going to be hard to like completely shut out the nonstop Rodgers coverage.
We'll hear about it to a degree. We're going to want to hear about it. Remember, the more you click on something in social media, the more algorithms are like, hey, cool, you want more of this. So you will hear more of this because you wanted to hear about this. It's gonna continue for at least the earlier part of this year. We'll be curious come training camp, or come any preseason games that he plays. Obviously,
preseason game. Yeah,
sort of the laugh track there. Okay, so what if he plays all 3 preseason games? It's not going to happen, but what if that did?
No, if even if he plays one, that'll piss off a lot of Packers fans.
And especially the comments afterwards would probably be like, I just wanted to see what preseason football is like. It's a pretty nice atmosphere around here. I figured that it felt good to go out there and give it a little go on the field.
I was waiting for people to really run with the quote when he said yesterday that it's been a dream month so far. Like, oh boy, here we go.
I told you there's gonna be plenty more of these insinuations and what does he mean? Yeah. But at least it's not something we have to talk about in context of the Packers. If we want to do like, what does he mean about the Packers as an outsider? Okay, if you want to, but you don't have to. You can focus on the Packers. And I mean you in the second person sense, the listener.
You know what's kind of interesting here too? Like, I was thinking about this the other day. And since we're talking about Aaron Rodgers here, his love of ESPN is well known. Obviously, loves the mothership, loves every reporter there, right?
Yes.
His buddy's got his show now on ESPN.
That's right. He'll go there.
Well, that's the thing is like, not saying it's all, because of him, but do you think that factored in with the negotiations with Pat McAfee that he gets Aaron Rodgers weekly?
I actually don't know that it did. Because it's a relatively temporary thing. Pat McAfee's got to be a bigger deal 5 years from now when Aaron Rodgers is retired.
Right, but initially.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the YouTube records he set whenever Aaron was popping on.
I mean, if it came up, I think it got addressed pretty quickly. Because, again, it's like that had not crossed my mind, and everything I've been reading about it, that has not come up. That doesn't mean, again, that it didn't come up, but that was not the number one priority. So it got tamped down, however. So, look, they're not going to throw Adam Schefter on at the same time.
Well, please do.
Actually, I mean, that actually would be pretty funny.
Yeah.
But they're not going to do that.
It's just, I think it all comes full circle, doesn't it? Sort of thing. So, looks like Packers are getting ready to do a draft press conference. So.
Ooh, we might learn some deets here.
Maybe. Yeah, they posted up a picture. They got the podium and the fancy, what do you call it, background. That's like a sheet in front of another sheet. With the draft logo all over. So,
can you quick throw in a question somehow? Can you find a place for me to stay?
I know I should, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people not happy, or I shouldn't say a lot of people aren't happy, but a lot of, quite a few national people not have questions about this, whether Green Bay can do it or not.
Boo freaking who?
Thank you. Even some Packers reporters questioning this too.
I mean, I get that because they probably know more specifics, but national guys,
I saw a national guy complain he might have to drive like around town.
Oh, gosh. Wow.
Yeah. All right, have a good day. Better day than me. Talk to you tomorrow.
To the Dan Patrick Show on WAYY Eau Claire.